I do believe we are live. Welcome, everybody, to the very first episode of Tears of the Rose, our Blue Rose actual play. Uh, it's been a while since I've been probably on the air, on live, and all that. Uh, so it's weird, but hey, let's do this. Uh, so, uh, first and foremost, before we go to the affiliate announcement and all that jazz, we're going to be playing Blue Rose, which is powered by the Fantasy Age system from Green Ronin. If you are not familiar with that, absolutely go visit greenronin.com and go check them out if you like what you see. And feel free to try the system. It's super fun. It's very different from anything else you may have played. Uh, Next, a very important part here. Um, as you can see right next to me on that side, I think on stream, yeah. Yeah, I think it will show on that side. I have a wonderful cast of talented individual, which I cannot wait for you to hear more about. And I think we're just going to jump right into that right now. Let's go into the order that I see on the overlay from like top left to bottom right. That makes sense, I think. Um, which go with Panda.
Hi, I'm awkwardish panda. I'm very awkward. I'm roughly panda size. I'm queer as hell. My pronouns are she, they. Do we talk about who we're playing or are we gonna wait till we get to dig
I
into
mean,
that?
your character name is already on the overlay.
Okay. I'm going to be playing an adept named Madame Marie Nicolette Delacour.
Yeah, you're gonna be able to find more about who she is and all that in a moment.
Mhm.
Yeah. Uh, Next,
I guess it's me.
Lonzo. Yeah.
How we doing, everyone? Lonzo Gonzo, pronouns he, him. I'm a Latinx content creator, also teacher, RPG player, and today on this campaign, I'll be playing La Pared, who is a night people, background being
Mhm.
outcast.
Perfect. Hector.
Hi, I'm Hector Reyes, also known as Keiichi Okami everywhere on the internet. I am going to be playing the wandering bard, Tamasa Salgado, who is, one of the roamers, the traveler people. And, you know,
Yeah.
let's have a good time.
So with time. And last but not least, Anna.
Yes, I am Anna, aka Archival Dust Money most places on the internet. I'm a queer and trans advocate, museum worker, and TTRPG producer, performer, and podcaster. And I will be playing Aurelia. Both of her pronouns are she, her. She is a sailor, especially to everyone who might be of the crown. Definitely not a pirate. I don't know why you're asking that.
No, definitely not pirate.
No. Uh-uh.
Independent sailor, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
But is open to many different kinds of opportunities that may pop up.
exactly. Wonderful. So yeah, you're gonna be able to meet all those characters in a moment. If some of the character terms seems a bit strange and unknown to you, it's just very specific to Blue Rose. You're gonna be able to find out more about who they are, what kind of people they are, their culture, and all that as we play along. It is very specific to this setting. You might find some similarities with other, tabletop RPG that you already know. Uh, but yeah, Blue Rose is a very diverse, inclusive system. It's lovely. It's a romantic fantasy, so there might be some flirting and other uh, fun little stories here. Um, but yeah, that is going to be my wonderful cast. I also just want to give a quick, massive thank you to my wife, Mrs Rafiki, who you're not able to see right now on the camera, but she's sitting in front of me, running production for me. It is uh, the first time for like a actual proper campaign that I have somebody helping me production wise. I don't know why I never asked her before, but yeah, now fix that. So for as long as she will tolerate my shit, she will hopefully be producing. So yeah, without further ado, we're gonna be starting our campaign in a moment. But as we start with every campaign, and people that have seen show here, we always have a little intro video showcasing characters and all that. So yeah, let's roll it, right?
Okay.
Do believe we are live. All right. So yeah. Now you've seen the wonderful image of the character for this show. Yeah, we're gonna be able to find out a bit more about them
Glasses are so
in
clogged.
a
You're also
little
attractive.
bit moment. All right. So I think everybody here is more than excited and ready to jump in, right? All right. No, let's put let's put some music to start with that, right?
There we go.
All right. The date is the 16th of Brannet in the 320th year of the Blue Rose. Here, the people of Valdis are currently living in peace under the watchful eyes of Her Illustrious Majesty Queen Jaelin, which I'm pronouncing the name properly. I have only read the name. But such prosperity has only returned in recent time, as for many in the kingdom knows. It was only 3 years ago that the kingdom faced Jarek, the Lich King, and his force, trying to overthrow Queen and bring chaos to the land. And for the past years, the people of Aldis and Aldea have been working on rebuilding the former glory of Aldis, repairing the damage done, and dealing with the various refugees that have been slowly trickling still from across the ice binder mountains from Kern. Which, to this day, what lies beyond that mountain remains a threat. But such event is only one small part of the grand story of all this, and the kingdom of the Blue Rose, and the many stories of heroes have yet to be written. Here we are, on this day, the 16th of Brannet, in the late afternoon, overlooking the Rose River, as the sun is about to set to the west under the orange and purple hues of the sky. We find ourselves seeing a little traveler on a simple boat arriving. On the backdrop, we can see the various beautiful infrastructure of the capital city. The calm, sound of the river and the people far away, the sound of the water. And on that boat, there, we find a man. Hector. Could you tell us what they see?
What they see is a tall gentleman. He's about 6'4". He has the lean form of an athlete. Tamasa has toned arms, broad chest, V-shaped torso. He's sort of standing confidently, like leaning over the railing of the ship as he's looking at the city. He has the dark toned skin of someone of in the mundane world, in Earth, the Caribbean origin. So just very dark complexion. He has thick, wavy black hair. He wears it up in like kind of a messy top knot. But his bangs are always kind of boyish and free, as opposed to being like slick back. He's got a full but well-trimmed beard on a square jaw, wide dark brown eyes, and there's a slight, almost blink if you miss it, point to his ears, betraying the trace of Vata heritage that he possesses. Currently, he usually is wearing like all kinds of colorful clothes, but because he's been on the ship, he's just wearing just a beige white linen tunic with rainbow colored stitching, no overcoat. He's just got a blue sash wrapped around his waist, puffy violet colored pants that are actually shorts, and right now he's just wearing like really sturdy like sailor sandals.
Mm-hmm.
And next to him is his instrument and his bag that has like the rest of his clothes, the rest of his travel pack, as he's sort of taking in one view before the ship takes dock.
And I believe it's not the first time that Tamasa comes here.
No. So Tamasa is a world traveler. He travels all over Aldous, as he's a descendant of the Fieren, who are traveling people. They're travelers, similar to the Cingano of Spain, or the Roma as more, but like this is sort of Aldous' like wandering
Take
people. So he just sort of he left the caravan that he was raised in when he was younger, and for the excitement of Aldous. Now he's 30. He doesn't look it. It's very important. Like, even though he's 30, he does not look like he's in his 30s. He's in the prime of his life. And he's coming back home to visit his very close friend Nicolette after an exciting adventure in some islands out to the sea.
Yeah. And it's beautiful. It's been a while since you've been here. But this time, you usually have like travel companions sometimes here and there. And as per many times, you are currently not traveling alone, right? I do believe that on this little vessel, you do have a companion with whom you've only met recently, in the grand scheme of things, but travel here for a while. Anna, who do we see here traveling alongside Tamasa, and what is your character currently doing?
Yeah, in this moment, a woman steps up next to Tamasa, kind of leaning against a railing, looking out at the city. She's Vata'an, so she has bluish gray skin, silver hair, kind of pulled into a sort of messy side braid over her shoulder. Her clothing is fairly plain, kind of white shirt, brown vest. Those who know textiles, though, would recognize that it is very well made. It's not expensive. It's not fancy fabric, but it is fabric constructed to last under a lot of stress and wear. And you can see a little bit of wear along the edges. They're not new clothes. They look like they're broken in quite well. Boots that look the same way, sturdy. Nothing fancy or flashy, but sturdy and dry. And as she steps up and her shirt moves, you can see tentacle tattoos up on her neck and down along her right arm. Bright golden eyes staring up at the city. I will never understand how they make them so big.
Hmm.
And it's your first time, I do believe, in Aldous, right?
Yes. Yeah, first time this far inland as well.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
She's not used to being surrounded by so many trees and grass and hills.
And even from afar, like Aldous is quite a sight. You know, it's been promptly rebuilt, and there's still work to be done. But even as you were approaching on the Rose River, seeing the city from afar, you quickly realize that things are bigger than they look. And as you quickly approach the port city, you start seeing more ships, more and more ships. Maybe some that you've encountered in the past, who knows? And also sort of vessel merchant. Even at this late afternoon, the port is still very much busy. There's all sort of people traveling and talking and working everywhere. Eventually, after a few minutes, uh, you're able to find a little uh, spot where you can dock your ship. Um, and crossing the bridge and so on. Um, and as you are ready to disembark and tie your boat there, um, you see the sight at the end of the dock of this very burly man, like completely completely shaved, big bushy beard, fairly well dressed, human, probably like in his mid to late like 40s. So there's not a lot of gray and pattern there. Uh, Wrinkle like sun like the skin has been damaged by the sun, but uh, he's very well dressed, especially compared to the rest of the people around him, which does give him a bit of air of importance. Uh, and I do believe, Tamasa, you've probably traveled here to Aldous before.
Mhm.
You've
Yeah.
probably recognized this man.
Yeah.
This is John, the dog master, which you would know as to be on the surface a very no funny business type of man. He takes his job very seriously and with a lot of pride. Once you get to know him and have a couple, cup of rum in him, then he becomes a slightly different man. But and he seems to be ending a business with somebody that may have docked a few minutes prior to you. As you are one of the new arrival, you know that you will have to do business with him if you want to make sure that your ship can indeed stay there.
Uh, uh, all right. Come with me. Let me talk to him. I'm gonna disembark, head up with the captain. Aurelia, you're the Are you the captain of the ship? Like, is this your vessel that we've been adventuring on?
I have no idea. I just assumed we booked passage.
Yeah, me too.
That's up to the storyteller. Did we buy a rundown little boat that we?
You know what? Let's give it to let's run that to the chance, right?
Okay.
Evens, you book passage. Odds, you probably purchase for fairly cheap something that does require a lot of TLC.
Mhm.
But it's floating and got you here so far, which is good. I'm gonna roll that dice. And on the upside, if get odd, you have a
ship.
tiny rundown ship that you can add to your general assets. It's a 5. So odd. You do have this very rundown what somebody can barely consider a ship. Are you? Is it really seaworthy? You just hope it doesn't rain too much. But it gets you from point A to point B, and it got you here so far.
And it hasn't completely sunk yet.
No, I mean you may have to get like a few buckets of water here and there.
Mhm.
But what
Can
good
get that.
ship doesn't get a little wet?
Exactly.
I think it's named the Gull.
The Gull.
The Gull,
yes.
I think we're gonna like dock the Gull, and then I'm gonna go over to John, the harbor master, with Captain Aiton. I believe that's correct. Acton, excuse me, Captain Acton.
Acton, yes.
Yes. I schmooze up as soon as they're finished, and I'm like, Harbor Master Jonathan, it's such a pleasure to see you. Allow me to introduce you to Captain Acton. This is our little ship, the Gull, that we picked up out in the archipelagos, and we're here to negotiate maybe some repairs and some time at the dock. Oh, I also brought you Ariella. What are the name of the archipelagos that your character's from again? That like you're native to? I'm trying to remember what they're called.
I do believe those may be, if I'm not mistaken. You are from the? Are you from the Scatterstar archipelago?
I'm
It's
not.
a hard
I'm
word.
from Elsport, which is
Elsport.
the one that
Oh,
connects the archipelago. It's the city, the port city
Ah,
that connects the archipelago.
okay.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna say is, and I'm gonna dig into my like doublet and pull out like a tiny flask of Elsport rum imported from the Shatterstar Archipelago. That I sort of just picked up, and I would just be like, "Oh, and I got this for you, a gift."
And he looks at you. He's a bit shorter than you are because you're a fairly tall man.
Mm-hmm.
He looks at you. Sir, I know it's been a while since we've seen each other, and I do appreciate the gift, but one might see that as bribery.
Bribery? We're old friends. How dare you?
We would never dream of such a thing.
This is Aldous. We are the most upstanding, and is it?
And he looks at you like with a very serious look. And for a moment, you're like, "Oh, did I fuck up?"
Right.
Then he smiled and burst laughing. So, it's been a while, but I'm currently on the job.
No,
Therefore,
absolutely.
I'm not able to accept. But certainly, and he looks behind you. This is your vessel, right?
Yes, she is quite swift. Got us here in a far shorter amount of time than we expected.
Possibly afraid of sinking, but certainly we can negotiate a fee for repair. I do have some dockhand that will be able to assist and evaluate, and I'm sure that you're good to cover any charge, right?
Yeah, we're on our way to, one of my patrons. What was the name of Nicolette's house again?
Everyone in town
the
knows
Chat-
it is the chateau.
Yeah, I'm on my way to the La Chateau right now, and I will make sure that the mistress settles up any debt. But for now, I'm gonna go into my little bag and just narratively give him at least the money
minimum
hold
docking
the dock,
fee.
right? The minimum docking fee. I'm just gonna hand it
Yeah.
to him straight, and he's like, "But I understand that at the very least," and I hand him that amount of money.
Yeah.
We need to have this taken
It's
care of.
nothing
first.
more than a few coins. Perfect. And I'm sure that if you are indeed employed by the madame, that she will be able, or you will be able to cover all the necessary cost to it. But just formalities here, right? And he pulls what is essentially a little ye old notepad. And a little thing of ink quill. If you could please fill in the form with your name, assuming you may be the captain on this vessel, and the name of the ship, and the reason for your visit.
Absolutely. And she fills it in. She'll give her name, Aurelia Acton, and then the Gull as a ship name. And then are we sightseeing? What is our reason for visiting?
Tourism.
Tourism. Yes.
Yes.
Bringing in those tourism dollars on,
Yes,
The
on
big
our
tourism.
sinking ship.
tourism. You're delivering goods. Me, famed performer of Aldous.
All right,
Yeah,
so
I'll
you
throw
meant
that in and pass it
smuggling.
back.
Okay.
Smuggling.
All right. So I'm assuming you're filling the form as honestly as possible.
Yeah, I think so. There's no reason for her not to right now.
Yeah.
So.
Could you also indicate me again the port of origin of this vessel, or where it came from again, just so that we know I have a log of where it came from and where it got. Like, where's the last place that you were docked?
Yes. What is the name of that city? It's the really big port town on the other side of the peninsula from Elsport. Is it
Garnet.
Garnet? Yes, Garnet.
All right. Wonderful. All right. Well, thank you very much, and I'm sure that later tonight I will be able to enjoy this rum. Have a nice visit to all this. Don't cause any trouble, and if we need to find you with an itemized bill of what needs to be done before anything works get done, we can always go to the chateau and provide you with such.
Absolutely. Come on, Captain. Captain. And he just sort of exaggerates. Acton, let me show you the town on the way to La Chateau. As I put my arm in Aurella's arm and just sort of swing open as like the camera just sort of pans. Welcome to Aldous.
Little name that fades.
You're not gonna get us
Yeah.
lost, right?
No. And besides, when one is a roamer, you're never lost. You're always exactly where you need to be.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty hungry, so where I need to be is food.
Ah, yes. So the baker at La Chateau has the best pastries, especially at this time in the morning.
That
It's
sounds
the
wonderful.
afternoon. It's late afternoon. Like,
Yeah.
the sun is setting.
Tamasa said what he said.
Yeah.
Tamasa
in the
gets
morning.
up at noon. This is morning.
It's morning somewhere.
It's morning somewhere.
Give us a break. We've been bailing out a
It's-
ship since midnight.
Right, just like
It's morning until he's been up for 6 hours.
Yep.
exactly. That's how that works.
Perfect. All right. So yeah, as you start, the journey through the city of Aldous, which I'm sure you will not get lost into by any means. It's gonna be all fine. We are gonna, pan a camera to this destination before you arrive to other people. Madame Nicolette de la Cour. Where is she and what does she look like?
Currently we are in the chateau. Being that it is a work day, I am in my public office on the 3rd floor overlooking Lake Vash. She is very average in appearance. She's got very Mediterranean, that kind of Mediterranean, Italian, Greek, almost, Turkish a little bit. Deep olive skin, dark curly brown hair that she almost always wears up in a bun. Beautiful teal eyes that are just this dark ocean color. She wears a long linen dress that is gauzy and free flowing. There are 2 slits in the front that go all the way to her hips. Teal braided at the shoulders, dip dyed in teal dye that is native to where she is from in the Scatterstar archipelago. She across her shoulders has these beautiful scale pauldrons that from a distance look very sparkly, like some sort of stone, and then you get up close to them and you realize they're abalone shells. She has the matching shell in the inlay in her armbands, and attached to both the shoulder and her armbands is a very, very long cape. Her dress is completely backless, and the cape dips down to show that. And she has a very recognizable tattoo that runs from just under her hairline all the way down past her waist and into her dress that is pin straight. It is the easiest way to tell how she's feeling because it's very expressive when she moves. She has rose gold jewelry. There's a huge rose gold collar that attaches her pauldrons to one another. She always has pearls or shells or something tucked into her hair. And she is currently pacing the office nervously. Had the carpets not been as expensive as they are, she probably would have worn holes in them at this point. She has the doors open, and even though there's quite a chill in the air because it's still very early spring, she's wrapped up in a little pashmina and she's just pacing. And she'll walk over to the door and she'll like scoop up her familiar, which is this beautiful, huge fall cat, like blue pointed. He's like oatmeal, like cream colored, and then fades into that beautiful gray blue at the tips of his wings and the tips of his ears. And it's almost like he knows when she's going to pick him up, and he'll sit there and purr for a minute, and then she'll set him back down and just start pacing again. And she just looks incredibly worried.
Perfect. But I'm assuming that nearby there's like she's probably. I mean, she might be alone in the office, but there's probably usually people watching nearby, just making
Oh
sure
yeah,
that
the door
everything
to
is
her
okay.
office is open.
Yeah.
Her office door is open unless she's conducting business. She's just
Yep.
there because it is a business day, and should she be needed amongst anyone at the chateau or
Yep.
one of her clients shows up needing something, she's
Mhm.
just pacing.
And I'm sure right outside of your door, there is an individual that is able to very much hear you pace back and forth. Um, as we're gonna, show Lonzo. Who do we see there? Probably just there, hearing the tuck 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 of
Yeah,
Madame.
I'm sure I hear the little patter of feet being softly crunched on the carpet as it goes back and forth, and then the soft little turn each time. So pace, 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 soft turn, pace, 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 soft turn. And it's almost become rhythmic to La Pared. Um, Almost like a sort of waltz is how he hears it for the time being. And you see this night person who looks like a is tall, about like 6'1", 6'2", with greenish skin, has white tusk coming out from him, black hair, short as well, has a bit of a beard that does come a little bit pointed out to the side, so squared off and just more pointed out. Large pointy ears as well, and he's wearing a full, it could almost look like ashen black, like heavy armor set, from boots to arms to legs to shoulders to the pauldrons to the cape is also like an ashen black, and the armor seems to be almost like woven kind of like in a rib-like pattern, to kind of give it a little bit more of a structural, reinforced kind of feel to it. And he's there with a pole arm right next to him, at his side, just kind of rhythmically bouncing along to the steps, along with it, up until I believe Madame Nicolette somehow stops at one moment and just lets that little bit of a sigh out, and it kind of breaks the little, it ends the dance, I guess you could say, in his head. It ends the dance, and he just kind of leans in from the outside, looks in, and says, "It's going to be all right. It's nothing really to worry about. It's just another day."
Another day, another day, another day, another day, and I don't know when he's coming home. We're running out of time.
But it has to be soon. If we're running out of time, then it'll be any moment.
I just hope
Any
the letter got to him.
And if not, we'll figure out means of setting out there as quickly as possible.
I know.
It'll be all right.
Labrada, thank you. It's just so frustrating. It's so sudden, and I didn't expect them to tell us that they couldn't wait any longer. We've been waiting so long already. You would think they could just wait a couple more days. But they're leaving, and I don't have a way to reach him.
I know. And when it comes to things that are out of our control, there's nothing we could do.
Yes, but you don't have 2 9-year-olds.
That is very true. I do make sure that I protect the person that does have 2 9-year-olds.
I appreciate it. So does Pierre. And she just starts pacing again. Just right back to the dance, just the soft walking back and forth. And as someone who was originally trained to be a spirit dancer, it is a very graceful dance as she just paces.
And back to the sound of pacing, which thankfully not the only ambient sound in this establishment.
Oh no, there's
It is a very busy establishment, and from I'm assuming your office is probably like a second floor, so
third floor.
Third floor.
No,
So you're
no, second office, second floor. You are correct.
Second floor. I don't remember the
It's the second floor.
Yeah.
Third floor is the other office.
the other
Fourth
office.
floor is the house.
And you're able to hear down below the busy sound of guests and staff working. This establishment never seems to really sleep. Even sometimes it gets a bit quieter, just to be kind to people that are indeed trying to have some rest, as everybody does need some. But it's always busy. There's always something going on. There's always somebody awake, always somebody working, regardless of their what their task may be. Yeah. And as you're standing there, watching and listening to Nicolette's little dance, if you do apparently see the very familiar, although fairly small. If you don't know who they are, you would probably just disregard them or take them as to be just one of a regular simple cat. But you do recognize this Rhydon to be Sebastian, a small Siamese-looking cat, who is also, despite its form, the accountant of the establishment. Probably just going through between two things back to this little place that he calls his office. And he walks with style and purpose, just like most cat, probably looking just a wee bit pretentious. And it is a sourceless voice that comes into your mind, as he does not speak in the same natural way that you would do, but he communicates through your mind. So, how is the madam faring? Anything I should be worried about?
Well, Sebastian's... What isn't she worried about these last few days? Time's running short. Urgency is high. All we can do is provide whatever support and comfort we can. But just feed her high hopes. I think she needs that right now.
I mean, when do I ever bring bad news? I'm very good at my job and make sure to...
I kind of give the curious glance um, and say it's not too often, but it has been a while since bad news came around here. But I think she'll be happy to see you.
But rarely ever from me, so
That's true. That's true.
all right. Well, and you see, he like walks around a little dell up and just looks around the corner as you see Nicolette pacing. Well, I mean, she seems busy, I suppose. I mean, but perhaps discussion of numbers and how much money the establishment made once again might distract her, if not for a brief second.
I think that's a good idea. And while you do that, I'll go fetch some tea for the two of you.
Oh yeah, and he's not even listening to you. He's just like walking in. Because you know Sebastian. You've probably been around for a while. If he sets his mind to do a thing, sometimes he will just think or say things out loud, just because he likes to hear himself speak, or at least communicate. And gracefully and hopping on your desk, Nicolette, you see the slender figure of Sebastian, just sitting there and just waiting for you to notice him.
It probably takes her a minute because Sebastian's really quiet.
Oh yeah, he is very quiet, and he does that on purpose.
And it'll probably be one of those things where Bijou, my familiar, just kind of lets out a chirp, and I look up, and I'm like, oh.
Like they probably like a few exchange like between like them, like
Yeah.
she's gonna notice me in a moment.
And
Like,
then I
I'm
look
too
up
important.
and oh, Sebastian, my apologies. Can I help you?
Oh, no need to apologize. But I, just wanted to do a little summary. I've finished the numbers for the day.
Okay.
Looks like it is another wonderful day of business. Profits are not an all-time high, but I'm sure they will come back to that at some point in the near future. At least nothing negative would come from this. So rest assured. If you are okay with this, because it's always important for me to run those things by you. I do have some possible investment in terms of new vendors and things like that. That could absolutely benefit. Not only in terms of quality of what we deliver, but also rentability. Like it's gonna allow us to still make a good profit in terms for the house. If you are okay with this, I may bring you the documentation for you to formally sign a bit later or tomorrow if you wish.
Whatever you think is best, Sebastian. You know I trust you with the finances of our day-to-day here. Where are they at with the school being built in the upper ward? The one that burned down. Where are they almost done with the repairs?
So, yes, for this, I do believe I had something about this earlier today. They're almost to completion. It should be reopened within the month, which is quite good considering the amount of work that was required.
Good. Children need their education. We need to make sure that that's taken care of. And she just starts kind of rambling about charity stuff, and she starts just kind of like she needs to talk, so she's just prattling. And she's just kind of very rambly about it, and she's like, if we're making a little extra, make sure that everyone gets extra bonuses at the end of the month. And then she stops for a minute because she's probably still pacing while she's talking.
Yeah.
She stops for a moment. Sebastian,
Yes.
can you do me a favor?
I can certainly try within the realm of abilities.
Well, as you know, I only have 2 clients at the moment. That's probably part of the reason we're not at quite an all-time high. Would it be possible for you to discuss, because we've kind of talked about it a little bit, but with can you get Marie and Philippe's contracts for me when you have a moment and see about how we can let them out of them
Certainly. I'm
without
sure I can.
the added expenses of early cancellation on their part.
Certainly, I'm sure we can find a legal way to certainly do so.
Okay. They're out at lunch together. It's very cute.
Well, is that so? Just late. Must be a very good lunch.
Yes, Philippe had an appointment this afternoon that he canceled with me.
How interesting. Well,
It's
wonderful
very
then.
sweet.
All right. Well, in this case, I shall go back to my office, and I'm assuming you're gonna be here for most of the night. If not, I shall see you in the morning.
Okay. But please let them out without charging them for the matchmaking services. It just kind of happened. You know how I am.
I'm sure we can arrange something at your request.
I'm feeling very generous today.
And you give what is the best cat little nod that he can give, and looks at you familiar, and also give them a little nod, acknowledging them, and hops off your desk and looks around the corridor. Make sure that there's nobody like walking nearby that could accidentally like trample the poor little cat that he is, because not everybody looks down, and he walks off to his little office, which is only a bit down corridor. It's one of the very few office where there's technically two doors. There's a main door where most people can come in, and one for Sebastian to walk in with a bit more ease, because he does not have opposable thumb.
No, the chateau is built specifically to be
Yeah.
accessible to everyone, regardless of their race, class, disability, or what have you.
Mhm.
I mean, if you have the coin to be in the building, you are well taken care of.
Exactly. But yeah, once again, you are left to your own device
She's just pacing.
with your own thoughts and pacing around once more. And with this, we're gonna jump back to Tamasa and Aurelia, doing a bit of sightseeing, hearing all the noise of the city. It is busy. Probably for some people a bit busier than what you may be used to. Some streets are a bit harder to access just due to possibly ongoing repair. You have to like avoid like scaffolding and all that, nothing fall on your head because people are trying to wrap things up before sundown properly. But as you travel through all this, Aldia, let me have just a quick look at the city proper. All right. So I do believe, Nicolette, could you remind me where again the establishment is in general?
Yes, it
city.
is Upper Ward. I've got to go look at the map real quick. Hang on one second.
Mm-hmm. All right, it's the Upper Ward, right?
Yeah, it's in the Upper Ward. It's
High
between,
Ward.
kind of like, or the High Ward. Yeah, it's between kind of everything, kind of close to the lake. It's got excellent views of the lake. Because I did fail to mention she's kind of got an iridescence to her skin and hair, almost like scales, but not really, because she is part sea person. So she is always near the water when she can be. But the chateau does overlook the lake in one of the higher portions of the city. There's buildings and stuff under the chateau, but you really can't see them from where she's at on the hill. But she's up there in the High Ward.
All right.
Kind of in the middle of everything, but there's like a little cliff that's right below.
Yeah. So yeah, it would not be too much of a like walk across the city, based on where you would have been docking.
I mean, you would have been able to see the chateau from the docks.
Yeah.
So are you booking it directly there, or you are
Uh,
doing a bit of uh, quick tour?
so normally he would, but he's a little worried about like the bill getting to Nicolette before like he actually gets to Nicolette. Like he would like to get there to butter her up and be like, "This is my friend who's the captain," and is actually taking all the shortcuts. Is actually like, um, sort of taking an inventory of like all the other times he's visited, and just not. He's not stopping by all the regular bars. He's not stopping by a busking stop to make some extra coin. He's not stopping. The only thing he will stop for is to buy a small gift at a local vendor, like a local
Mhm.
artisan,
Yeah.
of like just a little piece of like maybe hand woven jewelry. Just because I know that Nicolette likes things from local artisans.
Hmm.
And I'm going to get it before we get into the nice part. Like um in Puerto Rico, where I'm from, when you go to Old San Juan, there are tons of artisans and local crafters that line the docks. And I imagine Aldous is similar, right? You just sort of you leave
Oh
the
yeah.
docks, and then there's a little like kind of makeshift market that might be separate from the main market, a little off the books. That is the only stop that I make, and that is to feed my captain. We'll get some street food. I'll get a souvenir, and then straight to the chateau. No muss, no fuss, no distractions, unless of course Ariella is like, "Oh, I want to stop here." So I seem to be on a mission,
Yeah.
which is weird because when we were back in the port city and we were going from like whatever stops we made on the ship, I am king procrastinator. So I must care about this person.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aurelia, I think, is looking kind of wide-eyed around at the city, but is following you if you seem to be in a hurry. Has like
Mhm.
4 skewers of street food, like more than she should be able to hold at once.
Yes.
But is following along the best she can.
I mean, you put a skewer like between fingers, and like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
really like
absolutely.
Wolverine claws, right? We've all
It's
done
like
this.
One in
what I'm
her
saying.
mouth as well. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just like because it's like the I was right. It's like okay, you gotta get one chicken, one fish, one beef, one pork. You gotta try all 4. It's the best.
And
Probably
then a
my fault.
combination of both.
Yes, yes, this is it. And then you gotta do the mixed meat skewer with the veggies in between.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The food is very the cuisine is very different from what you were used to. Although all this is a very it's a very central city. There's a lot of people from all over, so there's influence from all over that comes here, uh, which is very interesting. Um, uh, and Tamasa, as you're like looking for a quick little gift, you know that some shops, are pretty much catered for merchant, seller, and all of that are
Mhm.
traveling here. Like it's a very barren city. But I'm assuming it's for your old friend. It's been a while. It's important to find a proper present. You don't want to cheap out too much.
No, no,
Uh,
I just want something genuine.
yeah. There are like some shops here around here that would probably carry something that are there more or less for that specific purpose, like the gift shop near like museum, airport, and all of that. Uh, Probably pricier than what you would probably get somewhere else in the city or anywhere else in the
Mhm.
world. But eh, it's usually either for last minute thing, which they know that they can afford to raise those prices, unless you've been traveling the world, you know the things. If you're no, if you're seeing that those prices are probably a bit unreasonable, uh, you may suddenly try to bargain and probably get them to not rip you off because you still
Yeah,
have bills to pay
yeah.
with
I'm
money
gonna
that you
see.
don't have.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna see if I can bargain for like an abalone shell carved ring.
All right, perfect. So, in that case, first roll of the campaign.
Oh
Uh,
yes.
could you give me, if you have the focus, or just otherwise, just communication bargaining?
I do not have communication bargaining. I have communication deception and communication performance.
All right, which is good in that case, just straight up communication.
Sure.
It
Okay.
is fairly like average as a roll. So
Alright.
target number would be 11.
11. Okay. Let's see what we got here. And then I add up all three, right?
That is
No,
correct. Plus your
no,
communication.
no doubles. So I got a 4, a 2, and a 6. My communication is 3. So that is a lot. 10, 12, 15.
15. So the like little mangy little man like you drive a hard bargain, sir, and I
Mhm.
respect that. I can like knock off a few coins for you.
Oh yeah, of course. Yes,
Don't-
excellent.
Just don't tell anybody. I don't want like you have.
No, never. It's all good. And you know, I assure you, the lady that this is for would be incredibly grateful.
I've been there before trying to get a hot date. I remember back in the days when I was much younger.
Age is not something we discriminate against at La Chateau.
Oh, it's that kind of lady.
It's that kind of place. I will like just sort of smile at him warmly, and then after I've paid, like hide it in one of my pouches that I have sewn into like the inside of my short coat, so pickpockets can't reach it, and like
Yep.
Put it in
Very,
there.
very wise.
Yeah.
Because
Uh,
although it's a nice and fairly safe city, especially this Gerald district, you never know who may be around.
nope.
When you turn around from the
pick the pocket.
shops, when you turn around from the shop stall, you see Aurelia kind of squatted down in the middle of the street. People are having to go around her, and she's feeding one of the skewers to a cat that is lounging there.
My character like walks up and is like, "Oh, hello" to the cat. How are you?
Yeah, they kind of just look at you like, "Meow."
Oh, okay. Always, just all of them. Always just until like there's a response, just address them. You never know who's radiant and you don't never know who's not. And I just very like affectionately pet the cat. But we're blocking the way, so feed him a couple of chunks and let's go.
Yeah.
Right.
And
sorry.
you may have like met some right down in your days. I'm not sure how well traveled you are or how diverse of people you have seen, Aurelia.
I don't know how many there would be on ships.
Probably not that many. It's not.
Mm-mm.
It's not usually a right down friendly job.
Yeah.
Are there any like sea mammals that we encountered out there, like dolphins or orcas that are riding?
I do believe lore-wise they're like primarily land mammal and usually
Okay.
like dog, cats, and so on. I
Okay.
would need to read a bit more about this. And who
That's
knows?
okay.
The world is a big, diverse place. They
Yeah.
might be just very, very uncommon.
Or like actual dolphins and orcas
Yeah, they just
don't
want to.
interact with us much. They live in the ocean.
They're just being jerks.
So long, and thanks for all the fish.
Yeah.
I know this is way off genre. I apologize.
All right. Perfect. But yeah, traveling around and going as quickly as possible
Mhm.
directly to your destination. And what you see is the familiar side of the chateau. This beautiful building.
It's a 4-story palace,
Yeah,
basically.
it's fancy.
Ah.
Well, it's a very well maintained establishment. And as you're approaching it, you do see some patron coming in and some more coming out. But yeah, you do hear all the familiar sounds, almost because one of the things that do trigger memories for people are smells. It's and they are very familiar, pleasant scent, uh, emanating as soon as you cross the threshold. The beautiful lights and color of the establishment greet you. It's been a few years, I do believe, since you've been here.
Mhm.
And the Ratan that is behind the counter, you've never met them before. They may be, they seem to be probably either fairly new, or just one of the people that have been here while you were not.
Oh.
They're,
Oh.
yeah, she's about like 5'4". Very
Oh god, I'm
slender.
like towering over.
Oh yeah, she's tiny.
Yeah.
She's tiny and like very slender, like a little fine feature, little beautiful green eyes, and like long silver hair, neatly tied, beautiful clothing, matching the general aesthetic of the place, which are, I do believe, very if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, in the very teal colors a lot around the place.
Yeah, it's very there's lots of blues and teals. There's some pops of brighter colors here and there, so it doesn't
Yeah.
feel flat. But think like
Yeah.
Middle Eastern, Moroccan, North
Yeah.
African,
It's
like
colorful.
just around the Mediterranean. Think all of those rich colors and
Mhm.
fabrics and tiling and
Yeah, I think that like as we approach the chateau, some of the richness, like there's things about my clothes that maybe click into place for Aurelia. Like, oh, that's where that blue silk, like it's sort of like you, when you start to get the vibes, some of the more like aha, flashy kind of aspects of my character's outfit. I'm gonna say like over the course of like walking, my character is like, you know, he's got the overcoat back on.
Yeah.
He's managed to get the hose back. Like it's almost like a joke, right? Like by the time he gets to the chateau, he's like fully dressed.
Yeah, otherwise you have been very much underdressed for this establishment.
Yes.
Like me.
Yeah.
Very underdressed.
We'll fix that.
I will say there is at the counter, just in case,
Mhm.
because I do have staff that comes in, staff that goes out, staff that travels, get married, all that stuff. There is a small portrait of Tamasa as he looked about a year ago there. So people know that he is okay should he show up in any kind of shambles.
Yes.
Just in case.
I had a fling with an artist for a couple of weeks, and he insisted on painting me. So I said,
And did Tamasa look a bit different a year ago?
no, which is very eerie.
Same haircut, everything the same.
Yep. Everything the same. The only thing that I think would be different is I'm probably 2 or 3 shades darker, because I've spent so much time, on boats and ships, trying to learn the basics of sailing and failing spectacularly. Like all I like Ariella could probably be like, he doesn't know what morale. That's what.
Just a minute alone on the sea would definitely die.
Yeah. And that's
I
about it.
haven't told him that, but I have thought that many times.
Yes. So I walk up to the desk and I'm like, oh, hello. My name is Tamasa Salgado. This is my traveling companion, Captain Anton. And I am coming here to pay a visit to the mistress of the chateau.
And she looks at you for a moment, like, I've seen that face before. And
Yeah.
you see, like, she turned like, alright, and like takes it like, if you're like, oh, yes, I do believe I've seen you. Yeah, I do believe that Madame has spoke about you before.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I know it's been a few years since I've been here in person, but I'm back for hopefully an extended visit.
Alright, well, I'm sure that she'll be more than happy to hear that. Please, you may wait while I suddenly let her know.
Oh no, she's not going to mind. And I take that. I just like walk through.
And you
She's
can
Like-
see
allowed to come in.
like this poor little woman that has probably like, been working there for like the past maybe like 4 months at most.
Yes.
But like she's so used to like protocol and everything.
Mm.
She's not sure what to do.
So,
I'm gonna, yeah, and then follows after quickly.
question.
Yes.
Being that Ariella is new,
Yes.
do you take her up? Do you run up the stairs to the second floor to the office? Because you know that's where she's going to be on a work day, unless she's got quiet. Or are you going to take her up the elevator as a? You're never going to believe this.
Look at the machine.
It's a machine. Oh,
I have a
man.
pulley. We have a pulley elevator for.
We have a
disabled
pulley
clients
elevator?
that
Oh,
we
that's
have fully
so-
operational. It's a little
that's
bit of magic
so-
to it, but we
That's
have
so
a.
tempting. My character is. Let me look at my like goals and persona here. So like,
It's one of those things that's super rare to have, but she's so incredibly huge
Okay.
on
I'm just going to
accessibility.
be
She has
like-
it installed.
let me show you something incredible. And I'm just sort of gonna like, I imagine the camera's like following us as we're going
Yeah.
past like tables and people designing, and I'm just so like, this is great. And I walk straight to the elevator and I like ring the bell and
Yeah.
wait for the door.
Yeah, there's
to
a guard. There's a
open.
guard there that
Yeah.
only allows
Yeah.
people that are allowed. That you probably
Yeah.
know. I don't know what his
Yeah.
name
Yeah.
is, but you probably know him.
So essentially, like for like, this man who we're traveling is essentially taking you to a closet with nothing in it, and telling you to get in.
Yeah. Aurelia definitely hesitates at the door.
Oh,
kinda
no, no, no,
looking
no.
Suspiciously.
It's rigged to a pulley system like your sails are.
Really?
Yeah, come on, you'll see.
It's not gonna fall.
I'm not going to make that promise, but I will promise you it will work.
And as you say that, you
Okay.
do see like the little man standing, next, like guard that just giving a little like almost laughing at that statement. Whether or not it's because it thought it was funny or because he's like, yeah, this shit's gonna fall. That's hard to tell. Unless you're really trying to like, read
I
his
mean-
thoughts here.
Well, you promised me adventure, so
All right, let's go on an adventure. And I just offer a hand and pull the captain in and
Yeah.
shut the curtain.
So as you walk in, you feel that initial little bump in it, which is a bit unsettling. You were for a moment like on what seems to be solid ground. Us people in the real world know the feeling of elevators. For people that are not used to it, it is probably very very strange.
That is
Yeah,
why
she-
my character was like, it's like the pulleys that are used for the sails, because I'm
Yeah.
sure people rig themselves up the sails, and I knew it would be something familiar enough so the captain doesn't.
yeah, when people get drunk enough. Yeah, when it like jolts, she like tenses up and then acts like she didn't and
Yeah.
kind of leans back against the wall.
And that weird feeling in your stomach when like it goes up. It is a very very strange sensation. I'm not sure how this would emotionally impact Aurelia, but I'm sure it's still fine. It's still early. It's been weird, but still fine. Unusual for sure.
Take out my mandolin, play like a very calm tune.
It's awkward and like too tight for space.
Elevator music.
Yeah. I find that if I just play a few chords, it calms people from that weird feeling in your stomach as you go up. It can't be anything too exciting though. The
I
acoustics
mean,
are bad for that.
I'm calm. This is
Mhm.
very interesting. I'm very calm.
Yes, I totally believe you. He just maintains the smile as he's playing the music.
And it only takes but a moment
Mhm.
for you to reach the second floor, and that little bump again as this intricate machine.
There we go. All done.
That's great. Stops, opening to a fairly well lit hallway that is still just people going around. Uh, some people that seems to be working here, some people that seem to be here for other sorts of business. Um, yeah, and look around. It's just decently sized establishment. Um, so
Okay, so there's going to be a gentleman, a night person, named La Pavel.
Oh,
Pavel.
he doesn't know him yet.
Oh, do I not
oh
know him? Have
no,
you
he's
He's
met him
he's been
brand
yet?
there
new.
Oh
for
He's only
no.
been there for like 6 months.
Okay, so
Mhm.
La Pavel, when I see him in the halls,
Oh
surprise.
Oh
Okay,
no.
rewind. My bad.
yeah, rewind. It's all right.
Uh,
We can fix it in post.
Uh-oh.
We're not gonna
Rewind.
fix it in post.
I will say, no, we're not going to fix this. What I will say is that the mistress will probably have a bodyguard. Someone probably hot, tall, but will never admit that she's attracted to him. It's a whole thing. But I'm just going to go in first and say hi because she's an old friend. And then I'll introduce you. And we'll tell her about the ship. And we'll start a little business. You'll have a very simple boat, and for when you want to go home. And while we're here, we'll make some money doing some local trade, and get your boat fixed. And I will show you the amazingness that is the city. There's so much fun to have. Amazing bars, food, and play your cards right. The mistress, like, she has connections to the court. Maybe you could get a letter of marque, become a privateer.
That could definitely be an interesting line of work.
The crown is really, really powerful, and I know all the old stories. The magic that picks the leaders in this city is really ancient and really powerful, and manages to weed out a lot of immoral and unethical people.
At the talk of privateers and the crown, I think Aurelia's face darkens a little bit and she gets a bit quieter.
Mhm.
Everything okay?
Yes, sorry, it's just I've never been in a city this large, and it's just a little overwhelming. That's all.
Oh,
I miss
okay.
the openness of the sea. Everything here is so claustrophobic.
Yeah, getting used to the city is really difficult. It took me almost a decade. Um, the open road is very similar. You have open skies everywhere. There's nature. Um, Cities take some time to get used to, but don't worry, you're not alone. It's one of the great things about cities is that sometimes that loneliness you feel when you're on the boat or you're on the road, um, there's no reason for it to exist here. You're surrounded by people, possibilities. Aldous is the greatest city in the world. And we don't have to stay here forever. Let's just try and enjoy the now.
It's a good place, I think, to leave my mark, to prove myself. So let's meet your friend.
All right.
All right.
And then we can
Yeah,
continue
venture
on.
forth.
Like,
Perfect. And you venture into the hallway, meeting a few familiar faces. And as you are turning towards where the office is, um, you are faced with the very stoic and tall and intimidating person that is a Padet. And that's where we are going to go take a quick break. So we're going to be able to play that upcoming scene as we return. So yeah, we're going to be right back in maybe like 5-10 minutes, give or take. Long enough for everybody to stretch, drink water, do whatever they need, a bit of self-care. And we're going to be right back with more of Tears of the Rose. So yeah, see you in a bit. And we are back. Thank you very much for your patience. Oh, but I was able to get up, stretch, and do all necessary things while we were on a bit of a break. But right before we left off for the break, Tamasa and Aurelia, you arrive at a chateau to visit an old friend. And Tamasa, as you turn the corridor, you are greeted by somebody that you've never met before that may or may not look more angry than people you have met before.
Oh,
And you probably are not used to me actually having a bodyguard. Like normally when I have one, it's they go out with me. You wouldn't be
Yeah.
used to them being at my door like
Mm.
that.
Yeah.
I'm okay. I'm gonna walk up and just be like, "Oh my, aren't you an absolutely handsome piece of work?" As I like sort of approach with this warm, friendly, flirtatious smile. It's the kind of warmth that, you know, when you're a tall person, and I've heard this, you know, from my partners, when you meet another tall person and you're able to just kind of gaze at each other eye to eye, it's that kind of warm, kind of like, "Hey, how are you?" And just sort of glides over, and he's like, I'm Tamasa. I'm a friend and a close friend, personal friend of the mistress. Um, I understand that you probably don't want any, like, you know, you're seeing two strangers. My friend, Captain Anton here, has not met the mistress. I totally understand if you don't want her to go in. You know, I just would. Could you let her know that I'm here?
Point of order.
Yes.
Do I know this secret elevator? That it exists?
It's not a secret.
You've been
It's not a
you've
secret.
been here
It's-
before.
Okay. All right. So
No.
I know of this elevator and the use of it, and you know the importance of someone who uses it.
It's not even
Well,
an importance thing. It's an accessibility thing. She
yeah.
lets anyone in the building can use it.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. I think in that case, La Pared just kind of
I mean, you know he's who I'm hoping shows up at some point.
mhm. I kind of look from toe to head at Tamasa and look also over Tamasa to look at Aurelia. And then what I'll do is I will shift over, look into the room, and let Nicolette know that it appears your wishes have come true, and he's here.
And she's probably like, had she heard his voice, she would have probably run out. So she's probably out
Yeah.
of the balcony.
Mhm.
Do you follow him in the room?
Yeah, I do. I don't know anything's wrong. I'm just happy to see you.
I think I let Tamasa and Aurelia in first, and I'll just file in behind them
Okay. All right.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'll open the door.
as per standard like bodyguard protocol.
All right. I'll just be like, "The Bear Spring is home," as I like walk in the door.
I'm hearing everything. I turn around
Oh.
and you have seen Nicolette disheveled, and you would see that she is disheveled. No one else who knows her, like, unless you're incredibly close to her, you would think nothing is wrong because
Okay.
she has the ability to hide that. You would notice because you've seen her 2 times in her life falling apart. When Antoine was born, because she struggled with him with the twins because you were there.
Okay.
Josie was easy, Antoine was difficult. You saw her lose it then, and you saw when the twins were sick when they were 3. Those are the only 2 times that you've ever seen her truly look like something is wrong. And the second she sees you, she breaks all decorum and literally runs from the balcony and buries her face in your chest and like just wraps her arms around you and just squeezes, lets out about a half a sob. And then you see her start to relax, like something like just relieved.
Okay. I'm just gonna just like hold her there. Just like, okay, I'm home. What's wrong with the children?
And she just kind of composes herself for a minute, stands up straight, and takes a breath. You'll be happy to know that Pierre got a promotion.
Okay.
Did you? I'm assuming you got my letter. Yes.
No.
Oh God.
No. I just got into port today
Oh,
with
blessed Galinar brought you
my
one for me.
yeah, my
Pierre's gotten a
friend.
promotion. He's been named one of the traveling nobles.
Okay.
We've decided it is best for the children that they go on the tour with him. However, they all wanted to be able to see you, and we didn't know if you would be home in time. We've been stalling the caravan for a month.
Oh,
Her Majesty told him yesterday they had 48 hours to leave.
oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I'm here. And I brought you. This is my friend, Captain Aurelia. We have a tiny little dinghy that's docked. That barely made it here. A bill will be showing up. I just wanted to see you first. I didn't stop. I came straight here. Are we doing dinner tonight? Am I putting on a concert?
She
What are
just
we doing?
chuckles, and it's just visible relief. And she turns around and she goes into the deepest of curtsies. Captain, welcome to Blueheart Castle. I am at your service. Of course, we're gonna have dinner tonight.
Yes, big dinner. She is.
And I completely interrupt you. Lapidan, get Pierre to bring the children.
As you
Send
wish.
word. I know you're not allowed to. I get it, but can you please tell them that Tama is home, so we don't have to deal with Josie.
At the sound of that, I give a soft nod to Nicolette. I give a bow to Tamasa and Aurelia and just make my leave. I'll go downstairs and go to the front desk to see if they could just send word to have the kids come over as soon as possible. And I will I'll let them let me know when the kids come up, and I'll just make my way back up, and I'll stand outside the room.
And it might be today, it might be tomorrow. I don't know when Pierre's going to come say goodbye, but we wanted to make sure that they could see. And I'll start going into that rambly thing she does when she's like, her head is spinning, and she's just like, he got this promotion, and it's really, really good, and we decided it would be good for the children to see the world, but Josie was so upset that you weren't here to say goodbye to, and we've been stalling. They're all leaving together, as the nobles always do. So the caravan leaves in a day or two. So
it's all right. I'm here now. So he like sits down, puts his boots up, he doesn't wear. He sits down, takes off the turn shoes, so these comfy bare feet, kind of digs his feet into one of the soft, expensive carpets because he misses this. And he's just like, so, are we going? Are you going with him?
No. My home is here. My job is here. But...
Look, I'm here. And if you're afraid of traveling on the road...
No, see, that's the thing. I may travel, but it's not going to be with Pierre and the children and Anastasia. We are going to let the children travel and see the world. And I may be down to 0 clients. I think I might actually take a vacation.
A vacation? That sounds delightful.
You know me, I never take time off, but...
Look, I brought you a ship. It's not very big, but after some repairs...
It's big enough.
Wherever you want to go, let's...
It needs repairs? Please tell me they're sending me a bill.
There you go.
Okay. Does it need any upgrades?
We could talk about that, Captain. Do you want upgrades? Like, do you want to negotiate something? Like, we can sit down and figure something out.
She like walks over to the door and down the hall. Sebastian!
Oh, you're gonna love Sebastian. Sebastian's great. You're gonna find out why I talked to that cat when you were feeding it down the street. When you meet Sebastian, you'll be like, oh, okay, it makes sense now.
But the ship is in need of some repairs, and it's not really outfitted for clientele such as yourself, so upgrades could be useful if you wish to travel in comfort.
I'll just wait for Sebastian to walk in.
Yeah. And the way you call Sebastian, he knows something is coming up. And you don't hear him or see him, but you know he probably gave the biggest cat sigh possible.
He chirped in his office.
Sebastian is a hoot and a half. But yeah, no, we can, if you want to go someplace other than the city, once the ship is repaired and, upgraded to whatever specifications you would feel comfortable with, we could go on a vacation.
I think I kind of want to get out. We've done so many repairs. The city is in, I don't know if you saw, the city's in so much better shape since the last time you were here. And
it is. Do you want to see the ocean? Do you want to go home? Home?
It is Grandmama's 100th birthday in a couple of months.
It is. Do you think? I at the very least, I promised. Aurelia isn't just a captain. Aurelia is my friend. She saved my life several times while I was attempting to learn how to sail.
She will immediately walk over and break, again, all decorum in the world and just give Aurelia a gigantic, warm hug. And she's not very tall. She'll just give you the biggest hug. Thank you for protecting my heart.
She hesitates, kind of arms down by her side, not really sure what to do.
I'm sorry, I should have asked first. I apologize.
No, it's okay. He saved me as well. We were traveling together. That's what you do.
He's got a hero complex. He's very good at playing that role.
A hero complex. I have trauma. How dare.
We first met because he was saving me from a number of thuggish individuals who thought I owed them money, but were sorely mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're discussing that, you do hear in your mind, Tamasa, indeed, Mr. Big Hero. And right sitting at the door, Sebastian sitting there, proudly. A bit offended that you said he's a hoot and a half, but he's gonna take it.
He's gonna accept it. Sebastian, it's so good to see you.
And as per usual, he just walks in, and he probably has a little spot in that office where he usually makes himself comfortable to be at eye level with most people.
Yeah, I mean, her office is very comfortable. Dark woods, bright white walls, with lots of blues and teal fabric ceilings. There's those Moroccan lights that are bright colors are all hanging from the ceiling. She's got a really low couch that she can sit on with a little bit higher table, so that when we do have anyone that is a Raiden that comes in that is on the smaller side, we're all sitting at eye level.
Yeah.
She's put a lot of very conscious thought into the design of the place and how it operates.
Yeah.
So she would just invite everybody to sit down on the couch and sit there and start discussing, and she'll go over, so there's this ship, we need to pay for whatever repairs it needs, whatever upgrades you feel it needs, befitting, if we're going to travel with it, whatever it needs.
I mean, I did indeed assume that there was in your tone the subtlety of expanse that we called my name. So
I did say we were making more money this month.
Yes, we are, and with all due respect, I would very much like that we continue doing so.
Sebastian, could I put on a concert? Perhaps a ticketed event, something to make us incredibly flush before we go on a trip.
I mean, last time that you were here, you did indeed somehow manage to bring a crowd. So I'm sure that
Oh, Sebastian, I'm the richest woman on the fucking planet. Just take care of it, please.
as you wish, madame.
Thank you.
So should I?
Please take a little bonus for yourself for the
So should I
extra work.
expect things to be ready by when exactly?
I don't know, as much time as they need. We're going to cruise around town. If we have to rush order, we'll rush order. But go to the dockmaster, please, and just get the boat fixed up.
Jonathan will be very, very happy to see you.
Take him a bottle of wine or something.
Oh, rum. Rum.
Does he prefer rum? Take him one of the good rums. One of the
Yes.
darker ones from the basement.
Mhm.
Yes, good old Jonathan. And you can tell from his tone that goddamn Jonathan.
Who?
uh,
This is not the first time that
no.
Tamasa has shown up with something needing repairs at the docks.
Yeah. But I'm
I
sure
like
I
to go on
can
adventures.
arrange, and I'm sure I will need to speak with Faraday about certain arrangement. But certainly, I'll keep you informed of all and make the arrangement for possible revenue and I can only assume upcoming expenses. I'm gonna make the book balance while I also work on that other assignment. Um,
Thank you.
and you would know that Faraday is your major domo. It's essentially
Mhm.
The Vatan that handle most of your business and take care of things when you do need a rest.
Yeah, and I would start telling him, I am really starting to give some consideration to taking some very real time off, which would
Yeah.
please everyone at the chateau because she's high fucking strung at this point.
Mhm.
So yeah, I would go over all of that with him. I would let them know, this is what's going on. And then once employees are out, Tamasa,
Yes. He's just lounging on the couch, like he's just home. He's just comfortable.
I think I want to call it a day early. Would you like to go home?
Yeah, that sounds lovely.
And I will let whatever secretary is waiting outside to know that we're locking up for the day and everybody else can handle their shit and we're going to the 4th floor.
Okay.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. No, without any issue.
She
And
would walk it though. She wouldn't
yeah.
take the, she would want to just kind of
Yeah.
wander
Yeah.
upstairs and savor hearing his footsteps on the marble and
Mhm.
just so like and Lapida will notice like she physically looks like a weight has been taken off of her shoulders.
I just walk with her like arm in arm. Um, uh, Thank you so much for welcoming me and my friend
Of
to the
course.
chateau. I mean, I knew you would, but you looked so. I was so worried. The expression on your face, like you need to rest.
I do. It's hard. It's the right thing to do for the children. You know that they need the education. They need to see the world more. They've been cooped up here in the city for 9 years. It's time for them to get out, and this is the perfect opportunity. He'll be up and down the coast. He'll be going to Two Lake as well. So, we may see them there.
Yeah.
They're going to go visit family. They're going to go visit my brothers.
Mm.
Francois's fine, but it's going to be an interesting couple of years. Well, they may be gone for quite a while, months, years. They're saying maybe 18 months.
Oh gosh.
They're going to be
Well,
quite some time.
it'll be a nice little break. We could go where we can go. Like I said, we can go for your grandmother's 100th birthday. Go and see. We don't have to stay there. We can go wherever we like. We can maybe spend a little time, and I'd like to spend some time in the city. But whatever you want to do, whatever you need, I'm here.
No, if you want to spend some time in the city and you would like Captain Acton, is it?
Yes. Aurelia is fine as well. Whatever you prefer.
Okay. It is quite up to you. Yeah, have you ever been to Aldous before?
I have not. I have not spent much time away from the sea. This is actually the furthest inland I've ever been.
Oh, this must be
It's
very disconcerting from you.
It's a bit overwhelming.
Same problems I had when we first met.
Same problems I had when I first left the islands.
All of us, we were both outsiders in the city. We're going to help you out. We're going to help you adjust before we hit the sea again. That way you're not jarred the next time.
And of course, we're saying this to someone who's literally walking in one of the largest buildings in the city. And
Yeah,
we get
still
to the first
wide-eyed,
floor,
kind of
and
looking
there's
around.
these massive doors. The doors are 20 feet tall. Like, it's that we get to the top of the stairs, and it's basically a gigantic entryway to her private apartments, which are even more expensive looking than everything downstairs. And I open the door and I invite everybody in, and everything up here is a little brighter. There's still lots of blues, there's still lots of teals, but there's also a lot of creams and whites in the furniture and in the rugs and in the stone. The floors are very beautiful teak wood floors, very reminiscent of what you would see on your ship. Or very, very expensive ships. So it'll be on your ship by the time that it's done. And it's just it feels very expensive without being ostentatious.
Aurelia, could you do me a favor and just roll me a perception seeing?
Perception seeing?
Just to see if you do notice one specific detail.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Because you've been in the company of people that are currently around you right now for a little bit.
Okay, is this seeing or empathy? Because I get special things for empathy.
It is very much a visual detail. It would be very much seeing. The difficulty test is not incredibly hard.
Okay, I was just wondering because I get to roll twice on empathy.
Aha.
I like to check. That is not great, but not bad. That is 9 total, and I have doubles.
No doubles? Oh, you have
No
doubles?
doubles, yes. And that's 2 on the... Is it a drama die in this? I always forget which one.
It is, I do believe it's still a drama die in this system.
Mm-hmm.
Or the stunt die, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And this will be roleplay stunts.
I would say a role-play stunt. Let me
Or
have
exploration.
Yeah, exploration. Let me just have a look back at my stunt table. And why on this one I only see... All right, I'm just gonna go back. Stunt reference. Yeah, stunts are a very fun part of any age system.
Yeah.
Let me see. Because you have 2 points, right?
Yes, 2. I don't know that there are any stunts that would actually be relevant, so it's fine.
Yep.
Yeah, not for just 2. There aren't any that would really be relevant.
Yeah. It would not be anything would be relevant, but I think because even if you roll though, because you did roll stunt point, I'm gonna give you that little bit of detail here. Although you're not able to put your finger on it, there's something familiar about the woman that is in front of you right now.
Just kind of a vague sense that there's something there I recognize, but I don't know what.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah,
You're not able to put your finger on it yet,
Yeah.
but probably with more thought and consideration and discovery, you might be able to. But it's...
Yeah, Aurelia's kind of following behind awkwardly, not really certain if she's supposed to be here or not, because this is very fancy. But just racking her brain, trying to figure out what it is. Yeah, so she's just kind of quietly following.
All right. but please proceed with the rest. Sorry for the interruption.
Oh yeah.
But there's these
Uh,
beautiful, beautiful doors, and you walk into the foyer, and all of the floors are marble with a cream-colored carpet with like teal tassels on the ends of it. The walls are beautiful cream-colored plaster. There's more of those brightly colored lights hanging from the ceiling, and there's a couple of doors that go different directions. And she just immediately turns to the right and walks through this huge archway, and then turns left and walks into what is her gigantic living room. And there's a huge fireplace, no coals in it right now, just because I mean, it's cool, but it's not cold.
Mm.
With lots more of the low lying seating, very plush, very comfortable. And she just invites everybody to sit down, including La Perelle. And I start talking to Tamasa about that.
Mm.
You would never believe that Pierre, as soon as he found out he was leaving,
mhm.
assigned me a bodyguard.
A
permanent.
bodyguard. What?
Not just
Oh.
one to take me out walking to keep me safe when I'm in public. This poor man has been instructed not to allow me out of his sight unless I'm in the apartments.
Oh my goodness.
At this point, I just let him heck out because he's actually quite a nice gentleman.
Oh.
Now, if I could get him to call me Nicole consistently, we would be okay, or Nicolette, because he still hasn't gotten over the Madame Delacour thing.
Right.
But he's been around long enough that he's allowed.
What's your name? He just like looks at Lapadel.
I don't sit. I stand by the doorway as
Okay.
as I'm supposed to.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes I invite him, it never happens.
And he speaks up a little loudly, seeing as you folks, he's not right next to you, so the name's La Pared.
Ah, Lapadel. That is a beautiful name. Rolls off the tongue very nicely. So has there been several attempts on Nicolette's life, or do you just wear that armor all the time?
Well, as you can see, she's still here, so
Right. And there's no threats, and we're in her apartments. Why don't you take that armor off and come relax by the fire? And I just sort of pat the seat right next to me.
Good luck.
I think what La Pared does is he'll tap his halberd, his pole arm on the tile, like a little softly, not like and just be like, "Oh, and then he taps, "Fine, right here, thank you."
So he turns over to Nicolette and he's like, "Look, have you tried asking him naked if he will come and sit
Yes.
down by the fire?"
Yes, I have.
Oh, you have? Oh, my goodness.
He literally has to stand outside the door when I have clients. Pierre is on a tear about the fact that he is leaving me. I do not understand.
A person of principle. My goodness. Okay. Why does Pierre just
I mean,
say
it wasn't
no?
deliberate by any
If Pierre doesn't want to
means,
leave,
but
why
the
doesn't
parties
he
we throw.
why doesn't he just say no? Like, the queen isn't unreasonable.
No, the queen is not unreasonable, but we've been waiting for quite a while for you to get home, and they do need to leave.
No. I meant like, oh, what's done is done. No, I totally understand. No more stopping. They gotta go. But like, I meant before I got here. Like, just seems. I'm grateful that you're here, Lapadat, but like, this just seems a bit much. Like, if he's that concerned, like, also, optics-wise, not great. But
I have a bodyguard permanently.
no,
Are you
like
kidding
that.
me? Optics-wise, we've been able to raise the prices around here like 3 times because now everybody's very concerned about what's going on.
Oh, really? Huh. I mean, are you okay with this? I like say to Lapada, like, is this like, are you comfortable? Is this what you want to do? I know you're paid well.
Yes, but I'm not the one paying him.
Oh, and all of a sudden it all makes sense.
He
I
won't.
think you
I've
see
offered
him.
double his salary to let him ease up a little bit. He is a man of principle.
I think you see him grip his pole arm just a little tighter, all that, and just is starting to like scan the room. You know, keep an eye at entrances, exits. You know, when you're in the city and you kind of have that mindset. All right, if something happens, exits here, here, and here. Look out for this. That's he's going through scenarios within his mind now.
Okay. Oh, I know that look. I look around. Okay, I don't see anybody hiding around here anyway. I will leave you alone. You're just very handsome, so it's a little distracting for me.
He'll give a little
It was pretty
tilt
distracting.
his head a little bit.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll write a ballad about you. We'll see how long we'll keep that on around. And he just plays a few like tunes on his mandolin, like just very like
Nicolette just chuckles because it's so nice to have her best and closest friend home finally.
So they're traveling. You want to travel. I have a friend that's a captain. I'm gonna go back and enjoy the city, and then get to go home, and this handsome man is gonna get to see the world, and we don't even have to pay him. We just have to let him watch us.
She'll roll her eyes and just kind of chuckle. Aurelia,
Yes. She
Will
looks
you
up.
be-
She like has her knee pulled up, boots on the very expensive sofa or whatever we're sitting on, kind of messing with the fringe on a throw pillow, and just looks up suddenly. Yes.
will you be staying with us?
I don't have anywhere else in the city. If you could at least maybe point me in the right direction for something.
No, you are a friend of my dearest friend. You are welcome to stay at the chateau if you would like. We can have a room up here in the residence, or we can clear a room downstairs if you would prefer. How much have you told her, Tamasa?
I have told her that you are incredibly wealthy, that you are a companion, and that you are not like other wealthy people.
He's been talking about you for weeks.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Hopefully, all good things.
I mean, I thought they were good things as far as I'm concerned, but I'm not as used to being in such a place.
I tried to prepare Ariel, but everyone just assumes I'm exaggerating when I tell my stories and perform. So
It's kind of hard to exaggerate this place.
I think it's the
Well,
flourish.
I'm just very honest about it, and the flourish. Yes, it's the flourish, and I'm not getting rid of the flourish because that's what makes me my money.
Lapare gives a little, just cracks a smile a little bit at that.
Lapanel, I tried to warn you about him.
I don't.
Absolutely shameless.
That you did, ma'am. That you did.
It's all gonna
Will
be
you
great.
two be, when you say friend, will you two be sharing a room?
No.
Okay.
That hasn't really changed.
Okay.
Uh,
Well,
you look stressed though. He like comes over. He sits next to your character, and of course, with player consent, my character starts to like rub your shoulders.
mine
To
or
kind of your
player-
characters. Nicolette. So
Okay.
Tamasa wants to come over and like
Oh, absolutely.
right over her shoulders, and it's just like you're very tense.
Thank
You should. How long has it been since you've been to the spa? Not here.
you. Not here.
No, someone that you are not paying. Well, someone that's not in
One
your.
that's not staff.
That's not staff. Have you gone? Have you?
Couple of months, 6
No, you
months,
need to
longer.
go. You need to let someone else that is not a part of your energy. You taught me that.
I know.
You taught me that. And he's just started trying to work the knots as best as he can.
And she starts to relax even more, and she's just like, I realize I am stressed. Things have been weird with Pierre leaving and the kids leaving with him. We decided this months ago, but we were trying to reach you first, and then we thought we would be able to stall till you came home because we knew you were due back sometime this year.
Mhm.
But
Well, it's all solved. We can let the stress go. We'll
Mhm.
have a nice dinner. We'll say our goodbyes.
Rayla, would you like to stay up here in the residence with us, or would you prefer a room downstairs? I only ask because I need to let Sebastian know what we, or at least let. What was the major domo's name again?
Your major domo, and you just bring back my note here, is Faradir. Faredir.
Faradir. Okay.
Yeah.
Lapala, will you summon Faradir up here, please? We need to make sure that the good captain has proper arrangements here
Mhm.
in the chateau.
Yeah,
Of
we'll
course,
get you.
ma'am. I really do appreciate it because I think for the repairs, they're probably going to have to dry dock the gull, and I can't really stay on it at that point. So
Yeah, no, it'll be good. We'll stay here. We'll all get to know each other while the repairs on the ship are going on. You'll get to meet the kids because I think it's very important if we're going to be going on a long ocean journey. We
By
should
the
spend
time
some
that the
time
kids
together.
get back, we've talked about redoing their bedrooms.
Mm.
So, especially because they're not here so often, we can outfit one of the children's bedrooms for you if you would prefer to have one of their rooms because we're going to be cleaning them out anyway. Or I have an apartment downstairs that is open for you to use if you would like because currently, well, I have no clients.
I mean, any of it honestly would be more than a luxury. I've spent a lot of time at sea in quite small quarters, so I mean, any of this it's a bit overwhelming. It's wherever I'm easiest to be put,
Yeah,
really.
just wide open spaces.
Well, I mean, luckily, most of the rooms here are wide open compared to many of the smaller buildings in the city, but I do completely understand. Um, well, it's up to you. If you would like to stay up here, I have no problem having a room converted. I just need to know what your preferences are in furniture and colors and how hard or soft you would prefer the bed. We can have a space available for you in an hour or 3. By the time we go to bed tonight, you will have a room up here, or if you would prefer an apartment of your own, you can have mine downstairs. I will warn you, since Tamasa has apparently not spilled all of my secrets.
Oh.
Um, while the room itself is very quiet, the hallway is often not.
Mm-mm.
I am, well, you see, the chateau has many skilled artisans who live here. Skilled in certain healing arts.
I see.
Mm-mm.
And every consort in this building has their own apartment, and I have one that I entertain clients, and clients are not allowed in my private home. So it is a full apartment. It has a small kitchenette, it has a bathroom, it has a very large bedroom. We can have it all cleaned out and decorated however you wish, or if you would like to stay up here in the residence, you can have one of the children's rooms and we will do the same.
I mean, staying here in the residence would be fine with me. The only person I really know coming into the city is Tamasa, so
Yeah, and I have some quarters up here, and you
Some
know,
quarters up here. Man has basically an apartment up here. Um,
I need my space to make music.
yeah, I don't need much, so even just a room would be fine with me. I don't know that I would know what to do with more than that.
Well, then I would wait for Faradir to come up and
Yeah.
I would be like, we need how much do you like sunsets?
Quite a lot.
Okay. Faradir, we need Josie's room cleaned out.
And yeah, as Pal and Faradir like walk back in, you see this, tall, slender, very, as most all your staff, very presenting very well. Vatahan, airtight, long silver, beautiful, deep blue eyes, and beautiful skin. You summon me? Yes.
Yes. The good captain here will be staying with us for some time, and as you know, we were planning on redecorating the children's rooms and perhaps converting one of them into a guest room, as the children do not spend quite so much time here anymore, and when they do, it's rarely together. We would like to perhaps convert Josie's room into a guest suite. Could you potentially get us some stuff quickly?
This could be arranged within the hours. It may not be perfect at this time, but I'm sure we can. It will do.
Would you
Uh,
prefer a more firm or a more cushy bed?
I quite honestly didn't know beds came in different options. So whatever is available, really.
Can you please have them bring up a couple of different mattresses and see what she will be the most comfortable on? Large,
Actually,
if you could get a
uh,
yes.
actually, can I make a suggestion?
Hmm.
If possible, if you can get your hands on a nice, sturdy hammock,
I'm sure this
I
could
think
be arranged.
I think that would make the captain comfortable, but a
Would you
nice
prefer a
one.
hammock? I will gladly bring you one of those.
Well, it's just that we've been sleeping in hammocks for weeks. It's standard. It's actually it keeps
Well, yes,
the rocking
yes,
from
I've grown up around
But
both.
I think you'd been talking about like installing a luxury hammock in the apartments for years, but you've never done it.
Well, I have the one in the back, but it's outside.
No, 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 no. I think. I mean, Ariella, it's It's going to be your guest room. I just think we have the money. Why go far from what you're used to? Imagine the most comfortable hammock that you have dreamed of your whole life. Nicolette can make it happen.
I mean, it honestly would be what I'm used to.
If you would
I
prefer a
hope
hammock,
that
over
would
the
be
bed,
less work.
done. Faraday, go get her whatever she needs.
Yeah.
Certainly. Any other arrangement?
When was the
Drink,
last time you
food,
had-
alcohol, change of clothes, companionship.
Oh, measurements, I think, so that we can get Ariella at least another set of clothing while you're here visiting in the
Oh,
city.
good lord! Do you only have the one?
There was an incident on the river. My other good set of sailing
No
clothes got a
worries
little messed up. Got
at
a little burnt.
all. And I will tell Faraday to go get my personal tailor from downstairs
Yeah,
and get him up here.
Nicolette,
certainly.
most people only own one set of clothes. Why do I have to reteach you? Just put his hands right now. Why do I have to reteach you this lesson every time I come to
Most people have two or three.
When you are traveling on the road, there's no place to put steamer trunks. Why do you think? Why do you think everything is?
clothing
Why do you think why do you think everything's reversible? Like he like flips the blue and there's like another he flips the green like overcoat and there's like another blue pattern in there. I've got 4 or 5 outfits and like several different.
I know.
All right. Is that all? Any? Are, is, are you spending? Is she spending the night alone in that? Or should you expect company or?
No. She is not here to be hired. She is here as a guest.
Oh, that's what I assumed since she was
But
here.
let's get her a hammock big enough for two. Should she decide she would like to bring company up?
Oh, wonderful. I'll see it done.
Thank you, dear.
And
What do we all want for dinner?
I don't know.
When was the last time you had a steak?
Oh, like a medium rare steak with a baked potato, butter and chives, and dollops of sour cream.
She'll like run out in the hall and yell, "Bring up the ingredients. I'm cooking dinner tonight." I'll just basically place an order for the kitchens to send stuff up, and
yeah, it will take a bit of time to gather things.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, within a matter of at most maybe 15 or so minutes.
That's the other reason for the elevator is they can bring stuff up on carts.
Yeah,
Yes.
you probably ask for a lot of shit, and they probably have to carry a few things. But yeah, within a matter of maybe 15, 20 minutes,
We are.
Elise, which is one of your many chef, that's brings you what you need just in time, as this was the end of her shift, and she very much wished to go home.
Hello,
there.
Elise.
Hello, Tamasa.
Thank you for the ingredients. Getting ready to get off shift, I take it?
Indeed, I am.
Well, you tell your cousin Antonio that I'm back in town. And I said hello.
I will pass the salutation along. Just don't get him into too much trouble this time.
You have my word.
You said that last time.
Yes, and I didn't get him into too much trouble. I got him into exactly the amount of trouble that he wanted to get
That's very fair.
into. It's okay. I have this one over here to distract me. As I make a motion over to Lapada.
He just, I think, just keeps a strong hold of the pole arm.
Lapala, will you be eating with us, dear? Can I at least convince you to take a meal?
Yes, there could be assassins at the dinner table. You don't want to be away while she's eating.
Yeah. And she just give you a nod and just, good luck. If that's all, I'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow.
Thank you, Elise. And Nicolette will grab the cart of stuff and roll it into her big ass kitchen and just start cooking, because it's one of her favorite things to do is to cook for family.
And then I think while Nicolette is focused on cooking, I'm actually going to entertain. I'm actually going to pull out the mandolin and play music for both television, right? We don't have TVs.
Oh, you got all you're.
Yep.
out of
Oh, you
camera
guys are
vision.
freezing
Down.
too.
Yep.
There you
we're
go.
losing
Now
a
you're
bit
back.
back
I'm
there.
back.
Now you're
Okay.
back.
I'm just gonna entertain because give us to just
Still
sort
don't
of
see him on my end.
it's our version of there's no
There we
radio.
go. We're back.
Uh-oh.
There you go. Welcome back.
I just lost a couple of people. The technical difficulties happen.
It happens.
Oh, there's everybody. And cause there's no TV and all this, so I'm just gonna I'm just gonna play some songs. Play some really cool, and I play all kinds of stuff. I play a couple of the new sea shanties that I learned while I was out to sea. I play some songs some folk songs that might be familiar to La Padel. And I play some things maybe you guys hadn't heard before, or in the case of Nicolette, have heard all the time, but are from another country. Those are the Fieren native songs. So and
Aurelia will offer to help cook. She has some experience in the kitchen, so.
All right.
And
Tamasa,
Nicolette will absolutely let you.
I'm sure that you will go without any issue. But could you just roll me a routine performance check?
routine.
I mean,
that's
target
5,
number
right?
7. You're gonna rock that.
Oh wow. Okay. 2 6s and a 3. One of the
Okay.
6s is on the stunt die.
Okay.
So
Somebody on the first floor is all of a sudden dancing and doesn't know why.
Yeah. But and then so that's 6 stunt points for a social stunt. Where are you? You know what? So what aren't on the narrator's kit? The social stunts are not on the narrator's kit for some reason.
No. Yeah. You would need to go into
Let me go to the PDF.
the
Near the very end, there's a cheat sheet that's got all of them.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I thought was going to be on the narrator's screen, and it's not.
Yeah.
So
No, I know
remember,
it's annoying.
kids, open your Blue Rose book to the back, and that is where all of the stunts are consolidated.
Or if you're Panda, open your notebook to the back because you printed them all out, so you didn't have to keep the big book on your desk.
I know, right? I should
That's
have done
valid.
that. That is exactly what I should have done.
I have a Canva template that's got them all on there if you want them to print out.
Yeah. Hold on a second. I am Where did it go? I don't know where my freaking Blue Rose PDF went. I keep trying to find it, and there it is.
Yeah.
Keeps vanishing on me. So I think I'm gonna throw in like maybe what page is it? It's like 100 and
It is. Well, if you look at I'm assuming the PDF.
Like 374,
Yeah,
375.
375, 26.
I know exactly
seven-
which one you're going to take.
74 through 75.
370. Yeah.
Oh
It's
yeah,
not-
yeah.
It's very much new to
374. There we go. Oh, there they are. Role-playing stunts. I've got a total of 6 points, right?
You
I'm
have
gonna
more
go
enough
ahead.
point to play around.
Wow, that's freaking awesome. Bon mot, passionate interaction, and another thing. Sway the crowd. Oh, nope, can't use new friends on a PC. Exciting opportunities. Oh, I'm gonna spend 4 points on flirt. And then the last 2 points, I'd like to use not sway the crowd. What do we got? Bon mot,
Passionate
perfect remark.
inspiration.
Emotions flare and you're inspired to brief. Gain +1 bonus to your next action with it. Yeah, I'm gonna do passionate inspiration. You know, passionate inspiration and bon mot. You know, just to kind of like make people feel good. And then 4 for flirts. Choose one character who's present. Immediately make it a post-communications romance versus willpower self-discipline test. If you win, the character becomes enamored with yours. What exactly this means in the moment or how it might play out or fall apart in the long run are up to the narrator. Depends on how you continue to act. If you're successful, you've created an opening for romantic opportunities. With the consent of the player, I would like to use the social stunt flirt with La Padelle. If the player says no, I will pivot.
Yeah.
I will entertain this notion.
Okay. All right. So how that manifests in the stunt is that when I start singing, I sing a particular set of folk songs that are common among night folk. That I only could have learned from like night folk like roamers. Like, because the way I imagine, like the way the cultures in Blue Rose work is that the cultures are not ethnicities. The cultures are cultures. So, you know, even though my birth parents, one was human, one was Vata, we're all roamers. We're all travelers. So I think because I've gone from like the road, I've met some night folk on my journeys that are roamers, and I've learned some songs from them. So the inflections are right, everything's good, and I'm playing this because like I'm genuinely attracted to and interested in getting to know La Padelle, and this is my way of just using that like traveler charm to like get their attention. I do not, strangely enough, I don't know how I get that romance ability, communication romance. I didn't even know that was a thing. So maybe I'll get it when I'm higher level.
It would be a wise investment.
Oh, okay. I rolled the same thing as before.
Okay. Which is total of?
It was 14 with 2 double sixes.
All right. There's no double stunt on that. It's very much, you know.
No. Of course
consequence
not.
First roll. All right.
Yeah.
La Padelle, like if you could kindly just to see how well it may affect you, and you want to react and how you want to proceed after that is entirely up to you. But just give me if you a willpower self-discipline.
Oh, wait. I'm supposed to add my
communication
to that as well?
Yep.
Okay.
It is a communication skill.
Okay, then in that case, it's not. It's 18 because it's
All
6,
right.
6, 3 plus another 3 for my skill.
That's rough.
Sorry, I was just
A
making
hell of a
sure.
flirt. Yeah.
I'm really good at this. Uh-oh.
You're muted.
16 for me. A
Oh,
6
no.
on my off color die. So I know I get no stuns for this, but I have 0 in willpower. So if I had 2 points, I would have met it.
Yep. I mean, however you want to interpret it, like it is entirely up to you.
I say it for it being that close.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
say it loosens him up a bit.
Mhm.
I don't think it's going to be like head over heels. I think it's
No, you rocked a 16. That 3, like I only beat you because I have a
Mhm.
base communication.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Like,
think
for
what
no other
happens
reason.
is when I do my when I do like trace along the room, the gaze stays on you for half a second longer. Half a second longer each time I pass through the room. Like my eyes look at you for just the half a beat longer. You're getting that a little bit extra of his attention where it should be spent, providing security to the mistress, making sure that things are tip top shape. That half a second, he's awarding it to you each time he gives that look over of the room.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And in the meantime, Madame Nicolette and Aurelia, they're, I'm assuming, half decent kitchen in here. It's probably not as big as the one that a company gets because it's meant for a bit different purpose.
No,
But
this is my family. I mean, it's still
Yeah.
a big kitchen compared to most residences, but it's not like a big commercial
Mhm.
size like
No.
can cook the banquets for the chateau kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's big, it's cozy. There's everything you could possibly need to cook in here, ready to go.
Yeah.
Um,
And what are you working on in there?
well, I would ask Aurelia what she would prefer to help with.
I'm quite good at chopping things. That's where a lot of my experience in kitchen lie.
All right, well then I would start handing her like the stuff for a salad, the stuff for veggies that are going to go in the oven, probably like some carrots or something, and like the garlic that's going to go on in the garlic butter, that kind of stuff. While I'm like starting to season the steaks and getting the fire going in the oven because it's got like a huge chimney over it so I could like cook steaks and stuff inside. Um Getting the oven warmed up with the coals to make sure that we can toss baked potatoes and stuff in there and just getting everything. We're just prepping, I think, at this point, getting ready to cook because the steaks are going to cook very quickly.
Yeah, everything else might take some time,
Everything else
especially.
will take a little time.
Yeah, I think
Especially
in
the baked potato.
Mhm.
in the
They're baking right in the fire, so
in the familiarity of chopping things in a kitchen, I think it really relaxes a little bit and almost instinctively heart reads. I'm going to do the emotional atmosphere of this group of people because it is a relatively new group of people for her.
Yeah.
So this will be a T11 check.
Yeah, you do have that ability.
Yes. I rolled very well. 2 6s and a 5. So definitely past that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Got some stunt points. I don't know that they'll be.
If you find something that works for you.
Yeah, I'll look at it. But as far as the base,
Yeah.
you pick up on the emotional atmosphere of the place, such as the gathering of people. You sense the overall mood rather than any individual. may pick up on subtle indications of tension or unhappiness, for example.
Mhm.
Then I get bonuses for future interactions. Let me
Yeah,
check
it's.
the-
I'm sure, like based on what we could see here, as for an interaction, there's definitely good amount of joy, some tension, uh, a lot of flirtatious vibe for sure. Yeah, but
Okay. Yeah, so
Yeah.
just her eyes just in the most subtle way flash just a little bit as if a little bit of light reflected across them as she kind of takes in a deep breath and feels this throughout the room. I'm going to use my 6 stunt points for effortless arcana, so I
Mhm.
automatically pass the fatigue test.
that is wise. That's why you love to have a stun point on things like that, so you don't have
Absolutely.
to.
Yeah, so she kind of pauses for a second in the chopping and feels all of this emotion kind of seep into her.
Yeah.
And then starts back up into it.
Yeah, there's
And
been a
she
lot of
looks
strong emotions.
Yeah. And she looks like she has a lot of experience working
Yeah.
in this kind of cooking, preparing for people.
I would say if you're reading, you're that close to Nicole, the main emotion you get is relief
Mhm.
more than anything else. Like overwhelming relief.
If there's any other, like, general feeling that your character may be experiencing that Aurelia may be, sensing vaguely, you may say so.
I am happy and horny. Like, just he's like, I'm in the city. Like, I'm ready. Like, I'm gonna have some fun.
I'm ready, and
Like-
I'm ready.
Yeah,
the-
I'm ready and I'm ready.
The 3 H's: happy, horny, hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah, happy,
You
horny,
can
and
get them
hungry.
all
I'm
cured
ready to
at
eat.
the Blue Rose Castle or Blue Heart Castle.
At the Blue Heart Castle.
Please, no one ever make an advertisement about that about the chateau. Nicolette will kill you.
Would just die.
I think La Pared is just feeling focused with a little bit of a little distracted as well. So like the it's kind of conflicting, but I think that's what it is. Like he's focused, but like at times something's just pulling him away.
Yeah, Aurelia just soaks up these emotions. She's used to it. Kind of always being there around her. Just continues doing her best to help cook this meal.
And it's like late afternoon going into dinner time, right?
Oh yeah, it's getting.
Yeah.
I mean, it is springtime, so if there's a sunset, it's late.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So yeah, knowing we're getting closer to sunset, knowing that we're getting closer to dinner time, Nicolette is going to ask if Aurelia has everything okay, and is going to say, "I'm going to go set the table if that's okay with you."
Yeah, and I can handle this. It's not an issue. It's a rather small meal, so.
And she would point out, just in case you needed it, she would tell you where the bathroom is, where if you need something, like start pointing to cabinets, like just trying to be overly welcoming because that's just who she is, to try to make people comfortable. And it's just her nature to make people comfortable. Like people just generally, when they're in her presence, are pretty chill. And she's going to start grabbing stacks of plates and candles, and she's going out to the balcony that's off the dining room. And she'll go start setting the table and getting ready to wait for the steaks to just be, it's time to cook them. So
The little puppy dog that is Pared will be following a safe distance as to not impose.
And he wouldn't have to follow far. There's large windows up here. You can see her walking around out on the balcony, and they're up in the 4th floor up here. There's nobody else up here. We can like look over everybody's roofs where we're at.
Now I have a question. Is La Parelle still very, very much overdressed for the environment?
There's no reason for him to be over or underdressed. There is just his outfit.
Yeah. Big old suit of armor.
Big old suit of armor.
you're not very discreet as you're like walk around with that. It's I do believe it's plate, right?
Did we
Is it made of plate?
We said heavy armor, but if that
Yeah,
falls
typically
under
that would be a
the
plate.
yeah, if that falls under the
Yeah.
umbrella of heavy armor, then yes, it is.
Yeah.
It would be.
In the greater like medieval terms, like
Yeah.
that would definitely be
Yeah.
like proper late medieval like plate. Yeah, which there's the occasional clanking of plates. No.
And
Yeah.
I think he's as comfortable as similar to what like a lawyer or a banker might be like within a suit, all day. That's
Yes.
his. This is what he knows. Anything else aside from him being in the plate armor is just uncomfortable. It is kind of claustrophobic, no matter how loose fitting whatever garment might be. Like this is where he feels most comfortable at. This is what he knows.
Yeah. Just used to have like between like 40 and 50 pounds of like plate on you all day long. Um, Perfect. But yeah, eventually meal is set, meals prepared,
Ah,
and just in time for the sun to properly set on the horizon.
yeah.
Dinner is served. What exactly?
Scotty.
Like there was steak and assuming potatoes and like
Steak and potatoes, and there's like some
comfort
roasted
food.
carrots, and there's like a salad with like really really good expensive oil and vinegar, like balsamic vinegar on it. There's I probably had them bring up a couple of fresh loaves of bread from the bakery down in the main
Mm.
kitchen. um and I've probably got like there's probably a bottle of rum and probably 3 or 4 really expensive bottles of wine. And the table is set, there's candles all over it. There's 2 of like the medium-sized outdoor portable fireplaces that are both been lit so that we're a little warmer because it is still pretty cool this early in
Mhm.
spring.
Yeah.
And it's set as a very it feels like a very intimate dinner, a very family-ish dinner, but it still has that like when you're not used to it, like that wealth is there, but she's not trying to overblow it. It's literally just like some candles and a vase of flowers that she grabbed off the sideboard, like, and just plain white china, but it's china, and they're just up in the 4th floor. You can see everywhere in the city from here that is north and west from this balcony where the dining room is. So we have a really pretty view of the sunset out over the palace, out over the schools, out over everything.
I will say, notably, Aurelia, as she's sitting there eating, elbows on both sides of her plate because you don't want things shifting across the table on a ship.
Yeah.
So it's
Mm-hmm.
not the best manners, but she very much has sailor manners here.
I think
Nicolette doesn't look phased at all.
Mm.
I think La Pared and Aurelia are kind of in the same mindset. Like this level of, even though I've been here for like 6 months, this level of wealth and customs is very. He's used to it, but not in the sense of having someone who isn't royalty have it. So that's a little unfamiliar with him. So he's not really sure how to carry himself. That's why he's like a little bit more rigid, a little more quick to the point, probably a little bit more stiff, because this is more of a different set of circumstances for him. So I think the nervousness that Aurelia has, he's also feeling as well, seeing as Tamasa's here, someone that's a little bit more on a personal level with Nicolette. So he's still kind of judge like who these people are that just came in, but gathering what's been happening over the last couple hours is starting to think if Nicolette is able to trust them implicitly, then the guard comes down just a little bit. Not as high alert as it was beforehand upon meeting each other, but I think it's just come down just a few notches.
Tamasa excitedly sits at the table and sort of starts eating and chatting excitedly like somebody that wasn't raised with wealth but has been around wealth. He's got kind of that starving artist turned pop star kind of thing going on. Um, it's sort of it's almost like it's going to be a little bit of a wild joke, but I imagine young Britney Spears, because she came from a very small town in the South. So, but as a performer, she is adjusted to the wealth. So, my character is he eats, he doesn't put his elbows on the table, he knows the basic manners, but he's still eating with a gusto of somebody that might not get a meal the next day. Tamasa has always been a feast or famine kind of person, which is something that Aurelia has noticed on the ship. When there's rum, when there's food, eat it. Don't let it rot. Save nothing unless it's there's this thing that you have when you're raised in, not poverty, but when you're of a lower class and you're used to using less money and living on the road, that you're just Tamasa doesn't know when his next good meal is going to be. So he just relishes it and really enjoys it.
Yeah, and we have, and out on the patio, there's the it's a big, huge, live edgewood table that's it was probably brought in from one of the huge trees on Two Lake, with big almost circular chairs that are really really large and comfortable. She's absolutely queer sitting in the chair. Her feet are up in the chair, wrapped up under her. She's eating with far more decorum than anyone else at the table, because much like Tamasa, she grew up not very wealthy at all. This wealth is relatively new for her in the past 10 or so years, especially over the last 5, but because she is so immersed in it and it is part of her persona and her growing into what she has become, she's very at ease with the wealth. She's at ease with everything. She tries to not be flashy about it, but you can kind of see the little bits of the cracks there, because she is sitting there with her feet up under her while sitting there eating dinner on the patio. She's every now and then when Tamasa turns to start talking, she steals a bite of his food. Or she'll reach a leg out and poke him and then tuck it back under herself, knowing full well he knows it was her, but sitting there pretending it wasn't.
I think I start pointing. Tamasa has a glass of wine in his hand, and he's gonna look at a lot of that, and during the first course, and he's gonna say, "I know that I have been an incorrigible flirt since we met, but I know how long it takes to put armor on. Are you sure you don't want to just remove the pauldrons and the breastplate? Keep the legs on? You just, so you don't knock any of the candles over during dinner. So you're a bit more comfortable."
Tamasa, this man lives in this building, and I have never not seen him in this armor.
No, I'm trying to reach out here.
And I think
I know that you have a job, but I am actually concerned. Armor chafes. I wear armor too. I know you probably don't believe me, but I have a nice pair of brigantine that I'll be bringing out on the road while we're traveling. You never know when there's going to be bandits. Your skin needs to breathe, La Padel.
I think as you folks been eating, he's kind of just letting the three of you enjoy your meal. And it's still standing watch, and we'll eat after the fact. Um,
Yep.
when shift is done, and would say to you, I'm fine right now. As of now, I don't have an appetite. Not to say that the food presented to everyone isn't rather delicious, just I'd rather not. And as for the skin having to breathe, no, you're right about that. But
Okay.
there's a
I'm
whole
just saying.
regimen to that after the fact.
Okay. I'm just saying. I am not just an incredibly handsome, dashing, incorrigible flirt. I know my way around a sword. I know my way around a set of armor. Not the only one, and so does the captain. So,
Nicolette's just gonna shake her head and just be
I
like, Tamasa, you are a horrific flirt. I will be right
Am
back. And she's
I?
gonna wander inside for just a minute to go
Okay.
get something.
Okay. It's not just that I want to see all of that musculature, but I need you at your best if you are going to protect my best friend. I need you to take care of yourself and your own desires and your own pleasures and your own comfort, or you will not be prepared to use that. And I point tall, long, hard, sharp instrument to keep her alive.
Not in a sense of rudeness. If Nicolette has left the room.
Oh yeah, no. He got serious when she left the room.
No, he's Lapalette is also going to follow as well.
The windows are right there. You can see me.
Plausible deniability.
Always wants to make sure has proper line of sight.
Mm-hmm.
Proper line of sight.
And then she ducks in her bedroom and you can't follow her. Because she has to go get something.
But would still have that, not in the peripheral vision, just like, able to slightly turn his head a bit as to not be rude and ignore what Tamasa says. And I think at the end, like, sort of paying attention to what you're saying and watching what Nicolette's doing and keeping an eye on that. When you said, to be able to keep her safe and keep her protected with that, I think he's going to take his pole arm and just do a little flourish for a brief moment, and then just set it back down on the opposite side of him, and be just ever present, looking, making sure Nicolette comes out safely, waits a bit, not wanting to impose. If it seems to be taking a little bit longer, then I'll just start making my way closer to the bedroom and keeping the eye where Nicolette should be coming out when they come out. Say, I don't think you'll have to worry about that, but your concern is appreciated.
Thank you.
I could tell that you mean a great deal to her, and she means a great deal to you. Your being here has relieved her greatly. She was not in the best space the last few days, and I could see why you being here has eased her. So in return, I say, if you make her worry again, if you make her cast doubt, and then he takes the pole arm, does another flourish, brings it to the back, other side. then maybe we may have a dance.
I mean,
And he grips the pole arm a little bit tighter, as to like
Aurelia chuckles.
it's not
as to
exactly-
send that message across.
It's not exactly the dance I'm looking for, but noted.
So Nicolette will come back. She's going to wander out of the bedroom and then back into the kitchen. And then she's going to come out and she has this massive, massive box with her.
Mm.
And it doesn't look super heavy, but she's carrying it. And then so she's got that like in one arm. And then she's got a tray that's got like a little bit of pound cake with like some fresh, like first spring berries on it. And a little bit of homemade whipped cream. And she sets that down in front of like all of the guests and then hands you a box. I got you a Prezi for when you came home.
Oh, I like take the box. Okay, all right. And then I undo it and then I open it up.
It is a brand new coat with your measurements, your colors, in the finest suiting material.
Oh.
It's got like very, very pretty gold trim on it. Lots of deep blues. And if you like look inside the lining, inside the pockets, it's got little blue roses all in it.
Oh. It's at that point, very like kind of almost inappropriately, just starts to undo the sash, the blue sash, and like kind of set it aside and then take the outer coat. And you know, Ariella saw a little bit of this. They were on a ship, and then you watch me add the layers. But this is just like just sets it aside and then puts the coat up and then like spins it around, puts it on his tunic, and goes over to one of the tall mirrors that Nicolette kind of has around. Do you have any tall mirrors around, or is that only in your bedroom?
There are a few.
I don't want to decorate your characters.
No, there are a few like taller mirrors. There aren't a ton of them. There's like one or two like in the entryway in the living room. There's obviously like 3 of them in your room.
I have to look good.
Quick makes a beeline to the bedroom.
Yeah, beeline line to the bedroom. And he just sort of puts it on, and he's like, "Oh, this is so nice."
Does it fit okay?
It fits excellent. Oh my gosh. Oh, thank you so much. I mean, I figured we were going to go on a shopping trip eventually, as he just like kind of looks in like the mirror.
Oh, we're still going shopping, my dear.
Oh,
I need a couple of new dresses, and I want your opinion, but that's beside the point. I just wanted you to have something
You
nice when you got home.
need a couple of new dresses. You want a couple of new dresses.
Well, I actually
You
do.
need
I do need
traveling
it.
attire. You need actual traveling attire, and maybe I can convince you to put on some. I don't know. A pretty. Can we find someone who could make you a gambeson? Something that could,
She giggles. She goes, "Oh, we'll have to do a fashion show later. I may have already purchased some clothes."
Okay, I'm just saying, like, we're gonna be traveling, so you're gonna
I
want to get some
know,
travel
but I wanna-
clothes. Also, you should boots. You haven't been on a ship in a very long time, so some sturdy.
She
boots
sticks
as
her
well.
legs out, and she's got her knee-high, like winter, like riding boots on. Those gonna
You're
work,
gonna
or do I
want.
need different ones?
What do you think, Captain? You're the expert on footwear when it comes to the ocean, which is
They are-
only when
Waterproof.
necessary.
And sturdy.
They are really good quality leather, knee-high, like riding style boots.
I mean, they should work. They're a bit fancier than you probably need, but
I mean, they're
think they'll
very,
serve you
very
well.
simple. They look expensive.
Yeah. You know what? Those should be okay. But a brand new pair like the captain's, and I point to like Ariella's, like very like well kept, but you said that they were like older, like lived in like boots. I would say you want something like that, because I had to spend most of my time on the ship barefoot. Or in my sandals. Cause my pretty little purple shoes, as he like points to like the little purple turn shoes he has, just no. One time it was so hot out in the open sea, the glue on my shoes melted.
I'd believe it.
That's the worst.
I did
Got it.
warn
I
you it
need
was gonna
shipped
happen.
boots. It's fine. We'll go shopping. Lapadella,
This
are you
is
going to at least let us buy you some comfortable clothes for a ship, or are you going to just wear your armor?
yeah. I need to warn you about that. You should not wear that when we're on the boat, and that's not even that is a safety thing, because if for some reason you fall off the boat, you're going to sink, and the only way to save your life is to lose the armor.
Why
I'm
don't
not
we
saying
discuss this in the coming days? Let's not make
Yeah.
him uncomfortable. We know he
I'm not
wants
trying to make him
armor.
uncomfortable. I'm just saying, like, ship stuff. Just
If you would like some lighter weight armor or a lighter weight suit that is 100% your style, denoting you as my security team, I will gladly pay for that. But I will leave it up to you. But it is a safety concern.
Thank you,
I
ma'am.
think we're
I'll
going to
take
go
that
sailing
into consideration.
soon enough.
So, oh yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, Tamasa was just gonna suggest: are we gonna sleep or are we going out tonight? That
Well, I guess it depends. I don't know that I'm ready to go to sleep, and it's always possible that Pierre brings the children by to say goodbye tonight because I don't know if they're leaving tomorrow morning or if they're
Mhm.
leaving in 2 days. We
okay.
just found
Well,
out last
let's
night, so
let's just do dessert and coffee. I'll play some more music for the three of us.
yeah, let's bring
Lapadel,
dessert inside. It is getting a little
yeah. Let's
chilly out
bring it
here.
inside. Lapadel will get a chance to eat while we're having dessert and still washing us and keeping us safe. Not that I don't like being watched.
And if he will allow me, once we get inside and we're like starting to sit down on like the couches and stuff, she's gonna want to just snuggle up next to Tamasa, like just
Oh
climb up
yeah,
in
no,
his
no, no.
arms
He's
because
just gonna pull her
she's
really
a
close,
full foot
hold her
shorter than
close.
he is.
I think like he's gonna add, and then yeah, she's just sort of like, because originally he was thinking like, oh, let's go out, let's drink, let's bring somebody home, and but I now Tomas starting to realize, you know what, maybe Nicolette doesn't need like wine and threesomes to like make her happy. I think she just needs me to be a good friend, and I will do that.
And while we were eating, the bedrooms were emptied, and there is now a suite
Yeah.
available for Ariella with a large
Yep.
two-person hammock that is made of impeccable quality, with a pad in it and a pillow. There's a large bathtub that's been brought in case that she wants to draw herself a bath in private and doesn't want to use the guest bathroom, which there's one in there as well, but if she wants to have some privacy because it is a guest bathroom, just to give her some space. There's a dresser that's been brought in, a table, candles, whatever, lighting, extra throw pillows, probably a chair, like just the most opulent and unnecessary stuff for a sailor just to try to make her feel
Yeah.
welcome and not like she's in an empty room with a hammock.
There we go. So yeah, as the night wrap up, laughter and stories and all sort of tales are being exchanged. It's getting eventually late, and people do need their beauty rest. Um, Even the ever vigilant guard. Um, uh, you, at whatever hours you may find yourself to your quarter, um, eventually uh, sleep come find you, uh, with a bit of relief, a bit of fun, and a bit of possibly strangeness not to be on a ship and on something that is so stable right now. Um, and eventually, I'm assuming La Parella will remove his suit of armor and actually rest properly, because that is probably not very comfortable to sleep in. But sleep finds you, at least for tonight. But who knows what tomorrow may bring. And
Can I
that
say
is.
that? Oh, sorry.
Oh, go for it.
Okay, at some time in the middle of the night, Nicole goes and knocks on Tomas's door.
Oh, he answers the door just wearing like small clothes, just like the like kind of underwear, just torso open. Ah, yes.
She's literally just in a nightgown, like one of her
Yeah.
typical nightgowns, and she's just like, Tom, I don't want to be by myself tonight. Can I come just hang out for a little bit?
Hang out. Do you want me to stay with you tonight?
Yeah.
He puts his hand very romantically, and this is actually might have caught. You haven't seen me in 3 years,
Yeah.
and usually I'm very affectionate, but this feels a little bit. Do you need me?
I didn't hear what you
No.
said. Sorry.
Yeah,
He
you
says,
were
"Do you
super
need-"
quiet.
He says, "Oh, sorry." He holds her face in her hands, and he says, "Do you need me?
I
Do
just
you
need
want me to
somebody
be
to
someone
hold
else
me for.
just for a night, just to hold you?"
No, I just need somebody to hold me for the night.
I
It's
I
been
remember everything you taught me, and he puts his forehead
very
on her. And
lonely.
okay,
I just need to snuggle with somebody for a little bit.
yeah, stay with me tonight. And I bring her into the bed, and just pull her into the covers and let her twine and wrap around me, and move
And
your
that's literally it.
chest.
She like
Yeah, yeah,
she's one of those sleepers.
yes.
She's got like 3
Uh,
body pillows.
uh, uh, and then I imagine in my head canon, like one of the cute like young servants like sneaks out under the bed and like sneaks out, and he's just, and then he just sort of shuts the door and like heads out. In my head canon, I had gone back downstairs and played
Yeah.
some
Oh, it
and
like took you through
gotten
night.
and drank, and then like one of the people that I haven't seen in a couple of years came up with me, and then like they were gonna leave early in the morning. It's fine.
Yeah,
She'll
perfect.
just kind of
yeah.
mumble, "I'm sorry. I would have just gone back to bed."
Shh. I
She'll fall
don't
back
like
asleep.
waking up alone.
She'll go right back to sleep.
Perfect. And that's with that. Unless anybody has anything, something that they want to do quickly as the night takes you. Yeah, that's where we're gonna wrap up for tonight.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I just realized this isn't a one shot.
We get to do this for as long as we want to keep the show running.
Oh gosh, this is
All
great.
So, thank you for everybody at home for joining us for our very first episode of Tears of the Rose. And yeah, we're gonna see you next week. So, Tears of the Rose is gonna be 3 weeks on, 1 week off, because rest is important.
Yes.
So yeah, we shall see you next week, same time, same place, for more of this and whatever may find this party. Because I'm sure, that everybody will be, everything will be all fine and nice throughout the series. No problem ever. So yeah, thank you very much again. I'm just gonna do a quick round table of people and tell people at home where we are and where they can find you and all that jazz. And we're just gonna go the other way around, starting with Anna.
Oh, hey, that's me. Yeah, I'm
Yes,
Anna,
that's you.
aka Archival Dust Bunny most places on the internet. I'm a queer and trans advocate, museum worker, and TTRPG performer, producer, and podcaster. Find me on Twitter at Archival Dust Bun and on Blue Sky and Instagram at Archival Dust Bunny. And if the TTRPG community ends up on any other social medias, I will be Archival Dust Bunny there as well. So just keep an eye out for me. As far as where to find me, Tuesday nights I'm over on the Ballad of the Seven Dice with Nostradamus Core Phantomice, our Lancer mini campaign. We're at the end of that series, but I pilot a mech called Boiling Point because I'm always on fire. It's great. We'll see whether or not I make it through the end of this series without blowing
Yes.
myself up.
Oh no.
It's always a toss-up. Friday night I'll be on Lost Caravan with a one-shot of Electrum Archive. We have a bunch of great characters for that. So if you like kind of rules light RPG action in a very interesting world, come and check that out. Saturday night, we're continuing with our Fabula Ultima campaign, Fatal Ascension on Lost Caravan. I play a time assassin who has been going through a lot in this series. We've just had to flee from my childhood home as everything blew up, and things are not great. So if you enjoy classic JRPG vibes in your TTRPGs, Fabula Ultimate is a great system. We have a wonderful cast of players and characters for that. Sunday, I'll be back on Thorny Dryad with U-Force Inheritance, our Masks actual play. I play a protege with far too much responsibility on her shoulders. So if you enjoy young superheroes, and all of the trauma and drama that goes along with that, and the young romance, we have it in spades. I'm on a number of podcasts as well. If you like Lancer, check out Response Team Omnicron. It is a Lancer actual play that follows a PR team who unexpectedly ends up on the front lines of a brewing conflict. We have everything you could look for in a sci-fi mech war story. We've been described as if as if Battlestar Galactica had its own red versus blue. So if any of that sounds interesting, you can find us anywhere you normally get your podcast. If you like Digimon, check out Emergent Code, our Animon story actual play based on Digimon Survive and Digimon Tamers. We're a few episodes in for that. And if you like magical girls, check out Bloom and Blight, our brand new Girl by Moonlight AP podcast. We have been just blown away by all of the support we have seen for that show. It follows a bunch of magical girls trying to heal from a devastating loss and how that affects them and the team. And it looks at the queer relationships that exist around them in the world. And it's just a lot of fun. You can find that anywhere you normally get your podcast, and on Twitter, Blue Sky, and Instagram at Bloom and Blight. I have a few other shows coming up, including one on Girls Run These Worlds that I can't talk about just yet. But yeah, best place to see where and when I'll be streaming is on social media. So just give me a follow there.
Wonderful. Awesome. Yeah, that's quite a lineup of things. You are very busy. Hector.
Yes, hi. I'm Hector Manuel Reyes, known as, my pronouns are he, they. I'm known as @KHIOKAMI on Twitter, Instagram, and on Blue Sky. You can find, I am an actual player, an indie game designer, and game master of many years. Baby streamer, veteran TTRPG player. Right now, coming up, I don't have anything really coming up right now. My focus has been Tears of the Rose, if I'm being very honest. However, you can find some of my most recent work on the YouTube channel of Apochromatic Unlimited. I was in several one-shots, including a Thirsty Sword Lesbians one-shot with them recently. I ran a Teenage Nightmare one-shot based on Avery Adler's play kit Teenage Nightmare, which is a diceless version of Monster Hearts 2nd Edition. And wandering around in various other places, doing one-shots. You can find my last series that I was just on Girls Run These Worlds, Touched by the Sea. If you want to see me, play a queer Selkie getting involved in amazing magical girl shenanigans, please check out that series on YouTube as well. And I look forward to seeing everybody next Monday for more future shenanigans. So stay tuned.
Awesome. Lonzo.
How we doing, everyone? I'm Lonzo Gonzo, pronouns he, him. I'm a Latina variety streamer, also TTRPG player. You saw me play as La Pared in our Blue Rose games. You could also catch me doing some podcast stuff over at Unwavering Force. We are a BIPOC group of tabletop players, queer-led, where we're using Pathfinder 2E to tell a post-Order 66 Star Wars actual play, in which I play Oscar de Luna. I paused there for a second because I played Oscar in a different, completely different game. So I kind of like the name Oscar, I guess. I'm also part of the team lead of Cafe Cultivar, where we are a group of Latina content creators, artists, tabletop players, musicians. So we're gearing up to do our fundraising and streaming for Latina Heritage Month, which is in about almost 10 days from now, 11 days from now. So we're gearing up for that. So stay tuned to the socials for that. And anything you want to also see them part of, you can find me on my socials. I have some other things I can't talk about yet, some other things I had to do homework on, and I just had to put them in my phone so I remember to do them. Yeah, accountability.
Part of being an adult, right?
Right, yeah.
All right. And Panda.
Hi, I'm Awkwardish Panda. You have seen me be playing Nicolette tonight, our wonderful adept consort who is going to get into the things that she could do later in the game when we need them. But yeah, you can catch me pretty much everyone on the internet at Awkwardish Panda. If you've seen me yawning for the last few minutes, I've had 4 hours of sleep in the last 48. So yeah, I am a professional mini painter and I have a massive competition this week and I have a piece due. So sleep is
Mhm.
not an option. I am going to take a nap tonight before anybody fusses at me.
You know I will.
But you can catch me on my channel, which is at Awkwardish Panda here on Twitch. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. We paint minis on Mondays and Tuesdays. Wednesday is Work and Lurk Wednesday, where we'll either do a co-work stream or I'll be painting. This week I will for sure be painting. Thursdays I record for my YouTube channels at Awkwardish Panda and Awkwardish Panda's Den. The Den is kind of where all of my non-mini painting, non-gaming content goes. Fridays is Faerun Fridays, so come through for Baldur's Gate. What else am I doing? Oh yeah, our other show, Fiends of Faeric, is starting recording at the end of this month on the Monday that we're supposed to have off because I like to work. Frank and I manage that show. It is coming up. It's a Monster of the Week campaign. It is going to be launching on YouTube and in podcast form in late October once we've got a couple of episodes banked. And yeah, I'm a busy panda, but in the best kind of way. But yeah, it's at Awkward Panda everywhere. Y'all can find me, and I will see everyone next week. I'm very excited about this.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Panda. Yeah, and I'm Frank. I sometimes known as the Rafiki here and there on the internet. I'm a GM here. I basically work here. But I'm also a professional composer under my personal brand called Ribbon Skull Production. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much what I do. If you want tunes or audio editing and all that jazz, you can hire me for that. Um, and if you like the little tune for the intro video, well, I made that. So yeah, I think that is pretty much for us tonight. We shall see you all, next week for more of whatever will happen next. Thank you all for joining, and have a wonderful night. Bye.